Garcia Parra. He had to work overtime for that one.
That's a good name for Wheel of Fortune.
Not quite like Salsa La Mafia. The 1-1 pitch. Here is Cabrera at first. The pitch to Nomar is popped up on the infield. The second baseman, Kendrick, coming in to the edge of the infield grass. He's right there, and Kendrick makes the catch. The A's fail to score with the Angels coming up in the bottom half.
KTRB.
Sean Figgins leads off for the Angels. We go to the bottom of the first. Trevor Cahill about to make his big league debut. The A's were retired without scoring in the top half, and now Figgins, Kendrick, and Abreu for the Halos. 21 years of age. 6'3", 211. He made 8 appearances and 7 starts during the spring. His last appearance was against the Giants on Thursday in San Francisco. 5 innings, 6 hits, and 4 runs. And here's Figgins, a switch hitter batting left. And Cahill ready. Trevor delivers, and a sinker taken low, and it's 1-0. At first, Nomar Garcia Parra. Mark Ellis at second. The shortstop, Orlando Cabrera. Eric Chavez over at third. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate. And Cahill's 1-0 pitch to Figgins, a sinker for a strike on the outside corner. 1-1. The outfield for the A's. Travis Buck is in left tonight. Ryan Sweeney is in center. Jack Cust out in right. Huge gap in the outfield in right center. And the pitch by Cahill to Figgins, very high, a fastball at 93. And it's 2-1 to Sean. Vista High School in the northern part of San Diego County. Second round pick of the A's in 06. And now the 2-1 pitch is a strike on the inside corner, 2-1. And Vince, he has a pretty large pass list tonight.
As well he should.
Yep. The pitch to Sean Figgins by Cahill. Turns on the rubber and throws the 2-2. And Figgins takes a little bit low, and it's 3-2. In that game against the Giants in San Francisco Thursday, he allowed 3 runs in the first inning and then settled down and pitched better after that. He is hoping that might have been a blessing in disguise. The 3-2 and a bouncy ball to the right side foul, and the count holds at 3-2. Thinking that maybe the kid pitching in the big league ballpark in the big stadium might have gotten over one of those stages, the hurdles you have to get over, which is just acclimating yourself to the surroundings up here, giving up 3 runs in the first. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch. And Figgins hits a drive down the left field line, slicing into foul territory. Buck will run out of room as the ball lands in the third row.
Well, 3 years ago, he was pitching in ballparks that had chain link fences around them. You know, it certainly is a little bit different, but just has to remind himself just to focus on Kurt Suzuki's mitt, trust Kurt Suzuki's fingers putting down the signs, and so far it's just been all sinkers.
The 3-2 to Figgins leading off on the way. Fastball up and in, and Figgins walks. Let's see if Mike Stocia will try to do something with the running game right here, right off the bat. Try to rattle the kid. And here's Howie Kendrick, who had a big game last night, including a home run to right center field in the 5th inning. He's got a pretty good effort out of Dallas Braden last night. 6 innings and 3 runs. Then the bullpen, Michael Wirtz came on and worked a 1-2-3 7th. And Andrew Bailey made his big league debut, and he worked a 1-2-3 8. So here's Kendrick, who batted .306 last year, despite spending 2 stints on the DL, a right-handed hitter. Nobody out, bottom of the first, no score. Cahill, fastball outside, and it's 1-0.
Like we talked about in spring training, trying to find where that pitch is going to go. The sinker has so much movement for him. He has a tough time commanding where he wants it to go.
The pitch on the way, and that is low, and it's 2-0. In his last 2 starts in the spring, against the Giants and against the Padres, totaling 9 innings, he walked 7. Outfield, a gap in left center field. Kendrick's a right-handed hitter. Figgins at first. He's running a big jump. Taken for a strike, throw to second, and the tag is, and the ball gets away from Ellis, and stealing second base is Sean Figgins. I think even if Mark had received the throw cleanly, Figgins was going to beat it. And Sean Figgins steals second for the Angels with nobody out in the bottom of the first.
Well, one thing that Cahill did not do in regard to Figgins, especially a guy that's accomplished as a base stealer as he swiped more than 30 a year ago, is to make him stop. It seemed like he had a walking lead to second.
The 2-1 to Kendrick. Here's the pitch. Cahill throws and a fly ball to right. Cust is going back. Cust at the track, at the wall, and he makes the catch. Figgins tags at second. He's going to motor to third safely on a fly ball to deep right by Howie Kendrick that took Jack Cust crushing right up against the barrier, and that's out number one.
You got to throw Kendrick something with a wrinkle in it because he is on fastballs.
And that'll bring up Bobby Abreu. Well, the home run that he hit last night was a fastball that Braden threw that he tried to get inside, but it drifted right out over the plate. It was a perfect pitch to hit. And Kendrick hit it out to right center. Now the A's bring the infield in. Figgins over at third. No score. One out. Bottom of the first. And Bobby Abreu in his first season with the Angels. Left-handed hitter. The pitch by Cahill is a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. As we said several times during the spring, what an amazing summer for Trevor Cahill last year. Single A, double A, the Futures game, and 2 starts in the Olympic Games. That's quite an itinerary for a 20-year-old. The pitch to Bobby Abreu. Figgins down the line from third. The 0-1 to Abreu is high and tight, and it's 1-1. Two-time All-Star Bobby Abreu. Hit .296 last year for the Yankees with 20 home runs and 100 runs batted in. Cahill, first base side of the rubber. The pitch to Bobby Abreu is a tapper to the right side. Figgins to the plate. Ellis has no play at the plate. Throws to first in time for the out. Figgins running on contact even with the infield in. He scores the game's first run. 1-0 Halos. Abreu is out at first 4-3.
Well, Figgins has plus speed, number one, a good secondary lead, and typically on the contact play, one thing that determines the success is if the infielder has to move laterally, and that's what Mark had to do. It wasn't hit that well. He had to come in and over to his left to get to the ball, and that's why he made the right decision to get the second out.
That's a veteran play by Ellis. I think a lot of younger second basemen would have forced the issue and thrown to the plate, in all likelihood too late. And now Guerrero swings and fouls it back, and that would have invited a big inning for the Halos. As it is, the A's got the out. The Angels lead 1-0. No balls and 1 strike to Vlad. 303 a year ago with 27 home runs. Cahill against Guerrero, the 0-1 pitch, and a breaking ball, slider outside, and it's 1-1. Cahill, a fastball, a change, a slider, and a knuckle curve. Has the number 53 on his back. Here's the 1-1 pitch with 2 out, and Guerrero, a line drive, base hit down the left field line, over to field. It is Buck. Turning at first, holding with a single is Guerrero as Buck plays it back. And Vlad, who batted just 188 against the A's last year, has 3 hits already in this series. And that'll bring up Torrey Hunter.
You just cannot elevate pitches in the big leagues and expect to be successful. And that breaking ball was maybe off the plate a little bit, but it was up right around the belt, and we all know about the plate coverage of Guerrero and his desire to swing. And that's why he was able to put it in play.
I still feel like it's almost a victory when you keep Guerrero in the park. I mean, he's done so much damage against the A's over the years. He's at first, and Hunter is up. The pitch to Torrey is swung on and driven to right center field. Long run, Ryan Sweeney in the alley. He's not going to get it. One hops the wall. Guerrero is around second. He's going to third. They're going to hold him there on a double to right center field by Torrey Hunter. And with 2 out, the Angels have runners at second and third. Of course, Vlad doesn't run very well. I think 5 years ago, Guerrero scores without a play at the plate.
It's the one play that Mark Ellis has not had to execute yet in 2008, even in spring training, and that is the relay play, the throw to the plate. He feels like because he'll have his body with momentum that it shouldn't be much of a problem, but Evil did not decide to take that chance in that situation.
That's the third base coach, Dino Ebel. The ball hit right up the alley in right center, splitting the outfielders. Sweeney, the center fielder, and Cuss, the right fielder. Kurt Young, his pitching coach, goes to the mound.
Well, an example of Mosley in the first inning. He was able to throw a breaking ball first pitch for a strike to Jason Giambi. He's been able to mix it up. Trevor Cahill may be falling into a pattern of going with these first pitch fastballs, and Major League hitters might be going up there aggressively looking, especially if it's been elevated.
So here's Kendry Morales, the switch hitter, batting left. Runners at second and third for the Angels. They lead 1-0. Morales takes a fastball outside, 1-0. Kendry Morales was signed by the Angels. He's from Cuba. He was signed in 2004. Now Cahill, first base side of the rubber. Checks and delivers to Morales. Off speed high, and it's 2-0. First base is open. Juan Rivera waiting on deck. Close to the plate, an open stance, deep in the box, and now the 2-0 is outside. Maybe, yeah, it's hard to say because Cahill is not hitting his spots, but you wonder if Kurt Young, the message was, don't give Morales anything good with the right-handed hitter on deck. Now they're going to put him on. So once the count got to 3-0, this becomes an intentional walk. And what an early moment of truth in his big league debut for Trevor Cahill. The Angels with a big chance for a big inning as they have the bases loaded. Figgins walked. Stoll second. Kendrick fired to right. Figgins went to third. Figgins scored on Abreu's ground out. Guerrero singled. Hunter doubled. And Morales has walked. So 1-0 Angels. 2 out. Bottom of the first. And the bases are loaded for Juan Rivera. He's a right-handed hitter. And the pitch to Rivera is high and tight. A fastball, 1-0. So fastball 91 on the gun. And now Rivera at the plate. Hitting room in right center. Cahill's 1-0 pitch to Rivera. A high strike with a fastball, and now the count 1-1. Rivera batted .246 for the Angels last year. Guerrero leads at third. Hunter from second. Morales from first. High set, ready. Here's the 1-1 pitch. High inside, but a check swing foul tip. Cahill got a break. That pitch was going to miss inside, but it actually ticked the bat and might have gotten a piece of the home plate umpire, Larry Vanover, who's going to walk it off. Now Suzuki buying some time for Vanover. Suzuki with his arm on the lower back of Trevor Cahill, escorting the young pitcher out to the mound. So instead of the count being 2-1, now it's 1-2 to Juan Rivera, with 2 out in the bottom of the first and the bases loaded, and the Angels leading 1-0. Left field Buck a couple steps toward the line, and center Sweeney about 4 steps toward left center. And right Custis straight away. Guerrero is over at third. Hunter is at second. Morales at first. Now still not quite ready for play. I think that got a piece of Vanover, don't you?
Yeah, I think it got it on his hand.
Yeah, and I think they're just kind of waiting to make sure that the plate umpire is okay. But now Vanover is talking to Kurt Suzuki.
Or maybe he's wondering, was it a foul tip or not?
I think Vanover signaled that it was a foul tip, don't you?
Well, that's the question. They want to make sure the count is accurate here.
The count should be 1-2. Now Vanover wants to talk to the second base umpire, Dan Iasonia. Maybe Vanover lost count of the count.
Well, maybe his hand is throbbing so much that he couldn't mark it on his little counter, but he did ask the umpires, did it hit the bat? And so in an effort to get it right, and he did, and he mouthed to Bob Guerin, foul ball, and now Mike Scioscia wants to get his side of the argument in.
If it didn't hit the bat, Guerrero would have scored on a wild pitch.
Yeah.
So clearly, the count's 1-2, and Scioscia just wants some clarification here. Now, Scioscia wants to talk to Charlie Relaford, the third base umpire, who's the crew chief.
Boy, by this time they could have wrapped Larry Vanover's hand.
This is exactly what Trevor Cahill does not need, right? This is the last thing he needs.
They showed a replay on Angels television, which we have on our booth, and you can just tell by the drastic change in direction of the baseball, it made contact with the bat.
All right, bases loaded, 1-0 Angels, 2 out in the first. The count's 1-2 to Juan Rivera. And the pitch by Cahill is swung on a fly ball to center field, routine. Ryan Sweeney is right there, and he makes the catch, and Cahill keeps the damage down as the Angels leave 3 and get 1. After 1-0 Angels. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. We go to the top of the second. It's 1-0 in favor of the Angels. Eric Chavez leads off for the Athletics against the right-hander Dustin Mosley. Reminder again, the A's against the Mariners kicking off the home campaign. It's 7:05 on Friday, then 1:05 on Saturday, and 1:05 on Sunday. Then the Red Sox in for 3. Their only visit to the Coliseum this year is 7:05 on Monday, 7:05 a week from today, and 12:35 a week from tomorrow. Looks like the A's are going to get John Lester, Daisuke Matsusaka, and Tim Wakefield in that series against the Bostons. Here's Chavez with the Angels leading 1-0 in the pitch by Mosley. He's taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. Eric is 2 for 5 lifetime against Mosley. And getting the start playing third base last night, he was 1 for 3. A gap in right center. Mathis sets up in. The pitch to Chavez is strike. He's not afraid to work that fastball inside to the A's left-handed hitters. Eric made his 10th opening day start for the A's at third base last night. Now the pitch to Chavez in the dirt on a check swing. They appeal to third and no swing. That's a record for an A's third baseman. The A's have had so many great third basemen over the years. Sal Bando started 9 openers. Carney Lansford started 9. And last night for Chavez, number 10.
And I just can't imagine what the feeling was for Eric, just being able to endure another tough off season and get out there this opening.
Well, it killed him to miss the opener last year in Tokyo. 1-2, swung on a miss, fastball up and in. So Chavez strikes out, and Cust is coming up. Give you a check of the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by the Contra Costa Times, the Bay Area's best. Kyle Farnsworth, acquired by Kansas City this year. Pretty good contract, too, huh, Vince?
I think he got 2 years and a lot of money.
Well, Gil Mesh pitched great for 7, allowed 1 run to the White Sox, and Farnsworth allowed a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning to Jim Thome. Now the pitch to Cust is a shot up the middle of base hit center field. Jack Cust singles to center for the A's, and the A's have their second hit. Jim Thome's 542nd lifetime home run, a 3-run shot in the bottom of the 8th, propelling the White Sox to a 4-2 win over Kansas City. In relief, the winning pitcher Octavio Dotel. Farnsworth the loser. Bobby Jenks got a save. 9.25 mil, according to Robert Bwan. 1-0 Halos, 1 out, 1 on. Suzuki, a right-handed hitter against Mosley. Here's the pitch by Dustin Mosley. Suzuki around to bunt, and that'll be a strike on the outside corner.
Speaking of that, did you see the back page of the New York Daily News today in reference to the Yankee debuts of CC Sabathia, Mark Teixeira? The headline said, "Money for nothing."
Something to the effect of $350 million, right? Well, you knew that was coming.
Oh, it's the first of what probably will be many.
CC had a tough night, and Teixeira had an offer. Now Suzuki takes a sinking fastball for a strike. Bread and butter pitch for Mosley, the sinker. The delayed opener, they played the opener at Fenway today, and the Red Sox beat Tampa Bay 5-3 behind Josh Beckett. Jonathan Papelbon got a save. Home runs by Dustin Pedroia and Jason Varitek. James Shields, the losing pitcher for Tampa Bay. 0-2 to Suzuki is low, and it's 1-2. Here it's 1-0. The Angels lead the A's. The A's batting in the top of the second. Cust at first for the green and gold. Tough couple of days for the late inning relievers. Serrato got 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th, 1 more in the bottom of the 9th, and Serrato beat the Tigers 5-4. The 1-2 pitch, the delivery, Suzuki ground ball, and a leaping play on the mound by Mosley. 1 play to first for the out. Cust goes to second. Well timed by Mosley, waiting for that last stop and then leaping, going up as high as he could, and flagging down the chopper hit by Suzuki. Kurtz out 1 free. Cust goes to second. That's the second out. Good play by Mosley.
He's a tall drink of water out there. That helped.
6-4, 215. The Mariners, who defeated Minnesota last night, apparently are about to go 2-0 to begin the campaign for Don Wakamatsu. Bottom of the 9th inning. And Seattle leads the Twins 5-3.
Bedard went 5 innings in that game, struck out 8 before he gave way to the bullpen.
Here it's 1-0. The A's are down. Top of the second in Anaheim. The pitch to Buck, making his 09 debut, is taken low, and it's 1-0. Jack Cust at second base for the A's. Completely dark now. The lights have taken full effect. The 1-0 to Buck is taken for a strike inside corner. There's a cloud cover over the ballpark, perhaps the vanguard of the oncoming storm that's predicted. So Cust takes his lead. Buck's a left-handed hitter. Center field, Torrey Hunter 2 or 3 steps toward left center. And this will be a 1-1 pitch by Dustin Mosley. He throws. And Buck on a breaking ball and swings and misses 1-2.
Looks like darkness is over the ballpark to me.
That's true.
And you can see the cloud cover?
Well, Tony Nozzo, our engineer, has these kind of secret glasses. 1-2 the count. Mark Ellis waiting on deck. Mosley, the backward glance. Here's the 1-2 to Buck. Lifted to left field, high in the air, down the line. A long run, crossing the foul line. Rivera is there to make the catch. In foul territory, Juan Rivera makes the catch. The A's leave Cust at second end after 1.5, 1-0 Angels. Saturday, April 25th, the A's host the Tampa Bay Rays. Game times at 1:05, and 10,000 fans get a Matt Holliday replica jersey, and that's courtesy of Pepsi. Tickets available online at oaklandathletics.com. Matt not playing tonight, under the weather. Apparently had a very tough night last night. Is not feeling well. And here's Jeff Mathis leading off against Cahill, taking a strike, and it's 0-1. 1-0 Angels, although the Halos left the bases loaded in the bottom of the first when Rivera flied to center. Cahill's 0-1 pitch on the way is taken for a ball, and it's 1-1. One of the first things that Trevor Cahill did when he found out he was going to pitch Game 2 of the season was call his former high school coach at Vista High. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung out a miss on a slider. It's 1-2. And the current Vista High baseball team is at the ball game tonight. Spring break down there. They're playing in a tournament. They had a 10 in the morning game. Had a game this morning at 10 o'clock and bust up here to take in the game. And the pitch taken for a ball, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's not ruining their eligibility or anything by having him out here, is he?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. So it's 2-2 to Mathis. And Cahill throws, and Mathis hits a deep drive to left. Buck is going back at the track, reaching up. It's over his head and off the wall. He plays the carom, and Mathis cruising into second with a double. And he almost got it out. Right off the fence in left field, and Jeff Mathis doubles, leading off in the second.
Well, he's trying to take advantage of some early playing time in the absence of Mike Napoli. Mike Napoli is available. He's had some shoulder problems. He's had more power, better average. But a young pitcher, again, Trevor Cahill, trying to find consistency. Had a good slider earlier in the at-bat. That one stayed up, and it was hit hard.
Napoli had shoulder surgery last October. And here's Eric Ibar, the shortstop of the Angels. They lead 1-0. Chavez in on the grass over at third. Cahill delivers. It's bunted out in front of the plate. Suzuki looks at third, has no play there. Now Ibar stops in the baseline, and Suzuki throws to first for the out to Garcia Parra. The sacrifice works. Over to third goes Mathis. 2-3 on the sacrifice. Just chopped right out in front of the plate.
And Chavez was in too deep to get back to third base because Suzuki got to that ball quickly, wanted to throw to third, but Chavez could not get back in time and didn't want to risk maybe trying to throw to a moving target.
So now here's Figgins, who walked, stole the base, and scored a run in the first. Suzuki goes to the mound. Once again, Cahill in trouble. Sean Figgins, the igniter for the Angels, 5 consecutive 30 stolen base years. Came over from Colorado. Switch hitter batting left, the infield in, the pitch in the dirt, gets away from Suzuki, and down the line is Mathis, and the throw is too late. On a wild pitch, Mathis scores from third, 2-0 Angels. So he bounced it, and Mathis scored from third.
Like it might have been the changeup.
I think it might have gone through the legs. Watching the replay, Vince, through the legs of the catcher, Suzuki. So it's 2-0.
One thing the A's need to do to aid the young pitchers is really play above average defense and make the plays for them.
The pitch, the 1-0. Figgins around a bunt, takes outside, and it's 2-0. Howie Kendrick waiting on deck. Also put some runs on the board. They have not scored yet this year. The 2-0 delivery now to Figgins is a 5-ball to right. Shallow. Custis coming on. Ellis from second. Custis there in short right center to make the catch. Figgins flies out, and that'll bring up Howie Kendrick. The Giants won their opener. Tim Lincecum had a tough afternoon, but San Francisco put 10 runs on the board and beat Milwaukee 10-6, spoiling the Milwaukee debut of Ken Maka. Howie Kendrick is 0 for 1. He took Cuss right back to the wall in his first at bat. Right-handed hitter taking inside 1-0. Pitch, and it swung on a miss. Cahill features a knuckle curve in which he literally places the knuckles of the index finger and the third finger on one of the seams. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and Figgins swings and misses. Good sinker that time, and it's 1-2. Atlanta shut out Philly 4-0. The Marlins beat the Nationals 8-3. Bottom of the ninth, the Cubs and Astros tied up at 2-2. Bottom of the eighth, the Cardinals lead Pittsburgh 9-3. Here at 2-0 Angels. And Kendrick a foul ball at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rockies lead the Diamondbacks 1-0 top of the fifth. And the Padres over the Dodgers 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch by Cahill. Check swing. Did he go? They appeal to third. No. That's the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered 4 times for smoother flavor. Angels 2, A's nothing. Bottom of the second, 2 out, nobody on. And Kendrick hits a line drive to center. Sweeney going back in the alley. He's there in right center to make the catch. A well-hit ball. Kendrick lines out. The Angels get 1 more, and after 2, the Angels lead the Athletics 2-0. After 2 innings for the Angels, 2 runs on 3 hits and no errors. The Athletics, no runs on 2 hits and no errors. Third inning, here's Vince.
Mark Ellis will start things off for the Athletics. Trying to find somebody to cross home plate. They have been blanked for 11 consecutive innings to start 2009. 9-1-2 Ellis, then Ryan Sweeney and Orlando Cabrera. One of the differences early in this series, the leadoff man's been on 3 times for the Angels. He has scored all 3 times. The A's are 0 for 5. So they've had chances, have been able to get him over and get him in. First pitch to Mark is a fastball over the inside corner for strike 1. Mark was 0 for 3 last night, and part of that eye-opening play at third base, the caught stealing on a straight steal, a double steal, which was discussed today by Ken and manager Bob Guerin on the pregame show. 0-1 delivery lined over first base. That's a fair ball for Ellis. He's going to turn it first, looking to second base. Abreu digs it out in the corner, fires towards second. That's going to be late. Mark slides in safely. The A's have the leadoff man on again as Ellis delivers a third-inning opening double.
Well, here's where, and they stress it so much in the spring, situational hitting. At worst, you want to see Ryan Sweeney hit a ground ball to the right side.
Ryan had a base hit the other way to start the game for the A's, erased on a forced play. Oakland down 2-0. That's their third hit against Dustin Mosley. Figgins up on the grass at third base. Morales deep at first. The stretch, the right-hander's pitch. A sinker at the knees over for strike one. And Mosley, thinking along those lines, put that ball in the outer part of the plate. Outfield shading the other way toward left center. A lot of room in right center for the left-hand swinging Sweeney. Mosley, the high set, the leg kick in the pitch. Slider hit toward left, not very deep, and right at Rivera. He'll make the catch. So Sweeney unable to roll over on that pitch and hit a routine ball to left, and now here comes Orlando Cabrera. Cabrera with a bouncing ball on the right side in the first inning. He is 1 for 5 as the season leaves the gate. Last night, Joe Saunders combined with 3 relievers on a 3-hitter to blank the A's 3-0. And they lead it tonight early 2-0. The stretch, Mosley's delivery is a curve down and away, ball one. Cabrera shortened a bunt, more for a hit than anything else. Had Figgins charging from third. Now Sean backpedals to a couple of steps behind the bag. Very light breeze tonight, very cool but comfortable night in Southern California. 1-0 pitch, blooped into shallow right field, charging Abreu. It's going to hang up for him, and the right fielder will make the catch. So after the leadoff double, 4 pitches later, and Ellis still stranded at second base as Jason Giambi stands in.
And that was a major problem for the A's last year.
Jason got a first pitch curveball in the first inning, and eventually a fly ball to left in the inning. Jason is 0 for 4 in this series with a walk. And now he'll stand in on the left side of the box as Mosley gets ready. Mosley has been effective on both sides of the plate tonight. Not quite the overshift, but Kendrick is playing a shallow right field from his second base position. Mosley to the plate, and a fastball is up and away for ball one. And again, the A's are playing without the services of Matt Holliday. He's under the weather. I don't even think he's at the ballpark. And hoping to get this, whatever in his system, through his system quickly. Started last night for the A's, made his debut, was 1 for 4. 1-0 pitch, fastball to the inside corner, and Giambi shoots a look back to Vanover as Mosley goes to both sides of the plate to even the count at 1-1. Ellis began the frame with an opposite field double. Then Sweeney, a fly ball to left, and Cabrera pop up to right field. A's down 2-0. The pitch, down and in. Breaking ball that time from Mosley. 2 balls and a strike. Mosley's first big league win was against the A's on April 7th of 2007. He was up against Joe Kennedy that night, the late Joe Kennedy. 2-1 offer. Fastball up and away. Now 3 balls and a strike. Garcia Parra waits on deck with the Athletics as Mosley steps off the back slope of the mound to regroup here. 27 years old. Mosley 7-7 in his career. A 5.52 ERA, is a part-time starter, swing man, long man in the Angels system. The 3-1 curveball behind in the count. He drops it in for a strike. He is pitching out there for sure. Now 3-2 the count. Did not deliver a fastball. Just dropped in the curve. And now he fills the count. First base is open. Jason steps out for a moment. Now redigs that back leg in. Outfield straightaway and deep. The stretch, the righty's off. swung on, pulled outside of first base over the A's dugout into about the second row. Fills the count. And again, a good crowd tonight. Close to, if not a sellout. But even though it was opening night last night and the Angels did win 3-0, there wasn't that constant buzz in the ballpark last night, and really don't have that yet tonight.
The stands have really filled in.
And again, is a sea of red, and this is a fan base that has grown accustomed to winning here, although not advancing in postseason. 3-2 offer. Swing and a high pop. Left side of the infield. Ibar backpedaling a couple of steps onto the outfield grass, makes the catch. The A's come away empty yet again. A leadoff double and nothing more. Midway through the third, still 2-0 Halos.
You too can be an MVP. It's online at oaklandathletics.com.
Bobby Abreu will start the bottom of the third with the A's trailing 2-0. Abreu, Guerrero, and Hunter, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Mike Scioscia's team. Abreu bounced out in the first. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He is 1 for 5 in the series. Left-hand batter. Signed as a free agent this winter. A 1-year contract. Shortens the butt. Takes outside. Ball 1. Trevor Cahill's pitch count at 43 right now, surrendering single runs in the first and second. The leadoff man has reached both innings for the Halos. 1-0 offer. Sinker over at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. It seems like Trevor now is starting to settle into the game a little better from the standpoint that his sinking fastball, when it's averaging around 87, 89 miles an hour, has the right kind of movement, and it's in the zone where he wants it. Abreu chases the 1-1 pitch, came away empty. That's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outfield deep for Abreu the other way. The wind and the pitch to the Venezuelan. He swings and grounds it to the shortstop right at Cabrera. He was near second base, over to Garcia Parra in time. And there's 1 out. The youngest Oakland pitchers to start a game. Well, the youngest, Tim Conroy, at age 18 and 81 days on June 23rd, 1978. Trevor Cahill is 21 years and 37 days. And another 21-year-old is right on his heels on Thursday night. That'll be Brett Anderson, the left-hander, making his big league debut to close out this series for Oakland. Now Guerrero stands in, takes low and outside. Oakland down 2-0. Guerrero singled in the left on a high breaking ball. Vlad waggles that bat. And the pitch, swing and a miss, knuckle curve or a changeup. Off speed, and he was out in front. 1 ball, 1 strike. He said the chest muscle hurts when he throws, but as violent as a swing is sometimes, how does it not hurt when he swings the bat? The 1-1. Down and in with a sinking fastball. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Guerrero, 27 homers, 91 driven in a year ago. Got the dreadlocks coming out from under his heavily pine-tarred red batting helmet. 2-1 pitch. Look out. It sends Guerrero down to the seat of his pants as Cahill tried and misfired on the knuckle curve and missed badly for ball 3. It's 3 balls and a strike.
That's probably his 4th best pitch right now. And it's a pitch that is tough to control. It kind of comes and goes.
It has not been consistent at all, even going back to spring training this year. 3-1 pitch. Fastball to the outside edge. Guerrero takes the strike to fill the count of 3-2.
There might be a point where they move him away from throwing that pitch.
Infield back, and now here comes the payoff. Swing and a foul tip. Sinking fastball and a murderous cut by Guerrero, trying to add to the 2-0 lead here.
And that was really a good pitch, a fastball that just ran right in on his hand.
Guerrero with 392 home runs in the postseason against the Red Sox. Did not drive in a run. He had 7 hits. 3-2 breaking ball up and in, and look out. Guerrero almost got a close shave on that goatee that jets out from his chin. And he's going to jog up the first baseline after his bones were rattled a bit by Cahill. And before Torrey Hunter bats, we'll pause 10 seconds. Station identification on the A's radio network. On a cool Tuesday night, at Angels Stadium in Anaheim with Ken Korak and Ray Fosse. Vince Cotroneo with you. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Halos. Cahill paid a visit to the mound by Kurt Suzuki and shortstop Orlando Cabrera. As Torrey Hunter stands in, he offered at the first pitch in the first inning and rifled a double to deep right center field. The set, Cahill's pitch, down low, and blocked in front on a stab play by Suzuki for ball one. Hunter presented with his 8th Gold Glove prior to the game tonight. The likable Hunter, signed as a free agent prior to last season. Clemente and Mays each have a dozen Gold Gloves. Ken Griffey Jr., Andrew Jones, Al Kaling had 10. There's a swing and a high pop directly behind the plate. It's going to land just below us. And that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. He had all singles in the series with no RBIs against the Red Sox. In that postseason series, they lost 3-1 against Boston. Here, 2-0. The Angels in front, 1 out. Guerrero with the lead at first. Being held on by Garcia Parra. The stretch, the pitch, misses down and in. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Cahill trying to find the consistency. Working off the first base side of the hill. But he's thrown a lot of pitches already tonight. He offers, and a swing and a high pop on the infield. Cahill points the way as Cabrera charges in from shortstop, makes a one-handed catch on the grass between the mound and third base. That's the second out. And here comes Kendry Morales, who received that intentional walk in the first inning after Cahill fell behind 3-0 with first base open. Morales has been playing a lot of baseball, played a lot in the winter, then had a great spring training for the Halos as he gets the spotlight of stepping in for the departed Mark Teixeira. Set on the pitch, and the offer is in at the knees, a strike on a good sinker. It's 0-1.
Well, he's always hit in the minor leagues. So it's his time. They feel that it's his time.
341 last year at AAA Salt Lake. Not nearly the defender of the likes of Teixeira or his predecessor, Casey Kochman. Swing and a foul back, and it's 0-2. And knowing Mike Scioscia, who's in his 10th year now as the skipper of the Halos, he is the longest tenured American League manager. That's something that is important to him. Howie Kendrick, a very good offensive player, very much a work in progress at second base. In fact, he was charged with an error last night. How much will that be a factor as the season plays on? A turn and a throw back to first. Well, the A's go home Friday night, and they host the Seattle Mariners for a 3-game series, and then beginning on Monday, they'll have the Red Sox in town for their only appearance. The Halos will stay here and have the Red Sox this weekend, then they go on the road to Seattle and then Minnesota. The stretch, Cahill's 0-2 pitch, swung on, slicing into left center field. It's going to drop for a hit. Sweeney trying to cut it off in the alley. He picks it up, moving to third base is Guerrero. They'll hold him up, no relay home. Twice now, Guerrero's been the base runner at first base on an extra base hit in the alley that they have not tried to score him. It helped the A's stay out of further damage in the first inning. We'll see if that's the case here in the third. Morales on a 2-strike pitch, doubles the other way. Guerrero at third base, and now here's Rivera, who with the bases loaded back in the first inning hit a fly ball to center, and part of that at-bat was a lengthy delay after a foul tip hit Larry Vanover, and then Vanover wasn't sure if it was 2 balls and a strike or 1 ball and 2 strikes. He had to confer with his fellow umpires. It took several minutes. Cahill's trying to get out of a bases-loaded jam, and the very next pitch was hit to center field. Cahill delivers, and a swing and a chopper to third, and it's foul, picked up by Ebel, the third base coach.
And that could have been, it could turn out to be a big play in the game because, as we said at the time, Vince, the pitch was going to be a ball. It nicked the bat, so the count going to 1-2 instead of 2-1 put Cahill in a pretty good position. And he got to Rivera to fly to center field.
Rivera, the right-hand batter. Cahill comes to the plate down and away, backhanded by Suzuki. 1 ball, 1 strike. They scored in the first inning on an RBI ground out from Bobby Abreu, and in the second on a wild pitch bringing Jeff Mathis home from third base. Figgins scored the first run after a walk and a stolen base. Advanced on a fly ball, then came home on the ground out. 1-1 pitch, bouncing ball towards short. Cabrera stays with it. Up and over to first base in time, and Cahill puts up his first 0 with the big leagues. No runs, a hit. The Halos have left 2. And it's on to the 4th inning. It's 2-0 Angels.
Is always on.
On to the top of the 4th inning. The A's trail it 2-0, trying to get that goose egg off the scoreboard as Nomar Garciaparra, Eric Chavez, and Jack Cuss stand in against Dustin Mosley. Garciaparra popped up to end the first inning. His second consecutive start. Last night against the lefty Joe Saunders, and tonight with the under-the-weather Matt Holliday. He's back out there at first base, looking for his first A's hit. He's 0 for 5 in the series. Mosley to the plate, and the first pitch is swung on and dribbled foul right at the plate for strike 1. Well, last night, the Seattle Mariners won their first game of the season against Minnesota. Did so in the Metrodome for their new manager, Don Wakamatsu, the Hayward native and former bench coach of the Athletics. That was the good times. 1 strike pitch, too tight. They hung Ichiro's jersey in their Metrodome dugout as a sign of solidarity. And tonight he found out how the other half lives. He'll get a few gray hairs after Minnesota scored 3 times in the bottom of the 9th to beat him 6-5. Breaking pitch is up. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Bernard Span and Alex Casilla with the game-winning hits in the bottom of the 9th inning. A swing and a foul at the plate. The loss goes to Brandon Morrow. The Cal product had trouble with command again. He walked 3, but 2 hits were surrendered by Miguel Batista, who came on, tried to clean it up. Outfield playing, Nomar to pull. Right-hand batter against the right-hand pitcher. And the pitch is laced up the middle. And there's Nomar's first base hit as an Athletic. A clean single through the box, through to center.
And you were talking about leadoff men getting aboard for the A's?
Yeah, they've done that 3 out of 4 times tonight. And last night, they did it on 4 different occasions. But there seems to be a force field coming around third base right now for Oakland. Here's Chavez. He struck out swinging back in the second. Hits are even at 4 apiece. Angels lead at 2-0. Mosley back to the familiar stretch, and the pitch high chopper right side the infield. Picked up on a backhand by Morales. Underhands to Mosley over covering. They get Chavez at first base. Advancing to second is Nomar. And there's 1 out, a man in scoring position for Jack Cuss. Play goes 3-1. Mosley gets good action, the ball staying down, and he kept it on the infield. Cuss is now 5 for 8 in his career against Mr. Mosley after he singled against him his last time up, including a home run. Jack, who's known for deep counts, led the American League in walks and strikeouts last year, swung at and connected on the first pitch in the second inning. Led the team with 33 home runs a year ago. Left-handed batter stands in. And the first pitch for Mosley, that comeback fastball to the inside corner to the lefties. Starts inside, catches the black, and it's strike 1. And strike 1's been a pretty good pitch for Mosley. 11 times tonight he's delivered a first pitch strike of the 16 batters he's faced. Comes the 0-1. Fastball to the outside corner. The plate might be 17 inches, but the way he's working both sides, it might feel like it's 20 inches to the hitters because he's been able to effectively keep the A's batters to this point off balance, trying to get an idea of where to look. Pick out a spot. They give Jack all of right center field, with Hunter shaded aggressively the other way. Nomar with the lead at second, and the 0-2. Curveball in the dirt. Nice block by Mathis, shifting hard to his right behind the left-handed batter's box. And now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Look at the percentage of strikes and balls. 37 strikes, only 15 balls.
Don't have to be overpowering in this game on the hill to be successful. 1-2 offer. Fastball belted toward right field. Back on it is Abreu toward the wall, and it's off the wall. Nomar's to third. Gallego's going to wave him home. The relay will be held by Ibar. No throw to the plate. Nomar slides in safely. Jack Cuss drives in the A's first run of 2009. A single off of Bobby Abreu over Abreu's head, and the A's now trail it 2-1.
Yeah, single off the right field wall. It's just too much topspin. The pitch was down. He lifted it with topspin and just could not get under it enough to get it out. And the throw came into second base by Bobby Abreu. If it angles more toward first to the cutoff man, they might have a shot at the plate. As it is, it was Garcia Parra scoring easily.
Maybe the A's now can take a collective sigh of relief that they've gotten their first run of the year out of the way. Here's Suzuki. First pitch to Kurt is a curve, and it drops in for strike one. Suzuki with the comebacker back in the second inning. He is 0 for 4 in the series. Everything he's hit on the ground. Kurt last year, while leading the club at 279, had 7 homers, 42 driven in. Fastball hit late and foul, reaching the upper deck behind first base. Puts him in a hole at 0-2. So 2-1 Angels here in the fourth inning. Mathis out to the mound. A quick conversation with Dustin Mosley. I mean, come on. The A's were going to score at some point.
Well, really a positive start to the season for Jack Cuss.
Hitting the ball hard. The high set by the right-hander. Mosley's pitch. Slider down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As we talked about last night, maybe with a little bit of the pressure, or a lot of the pressure taken off of Jack. He was the prime offensive threat for the A's a year ago. And maybe that will relax him. Got 2 hits tonight, continuing his mastery of Mosley. Fastball ripped toward right center field. That's a base hit, slicing between Hunter and Abreu. Torrey cuts it off, fires towards second. He holds Suzuki to a single, but moving first to third is Cuss, and the A's are in business with runners at the corners and 1 out for Travis Buck.
The other thing we talked about during the spring is the depth on the ball club this year. For instance, Garcia Parra, as Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, goes to the mound. Garcia Parra wasn't going to play tonight. But because Matt Holliday is ill and can't play, Nomar is in the lineup now, not playing the same position as Holliday, but in essence replacing him in the lineup, and that's a big difference when you've got a Nomar to come in off the bench, and he led off the inning with a base hit and scored the A's first run.
And finally, the A's taking advantage of all these opportunities of getting that leadoff man on, and finally got him around to score.
Well, here's a situation where with contact by Travis Buck, the A's can tie it up.
Travis, a fly ball in foul territory down the left side. Back in the second inning in his first 2009 at-bat. He began the campaign last year with the Athletics as their starting right fielder. And then combination of lack of performance and then sent back to the minor leagues and a myriad of injuries. And he was a guy that had to fight his way back in September. Finally had a good last month to give him the right frame of mind to prepare for 2009.
But what a tough start he had last year.
Mathis out in front of home plate. Goes through the signs. And now we're ready to go. 2-1 Angels. The A's knocking on the door with Suzuki at first and Cuss at third. The set, the pitch. Down and away with the sinker. And it is ball 1. Talking about Buck, he began last season 0 for 22. And then sent back to the minor leagues. Had shin splints. Came to the A's for the final 2 weeks of the season. 1-0 offer. Off speed, rolled on the right side, under the glove of Morales. Then he picks it back up, goes to first base. Scoring is Cuss. The game is tied at 2. A chance for potentially an inning-ending double play goes by the boards on the porous right side of the Angel defense. And the A's cash it in. Suzuki at second base. And it's now a 2-2 game.
Kind of a strange play because it looked like the ball was going to roll behind him. Then it kind of popped up right back to him.
So Buck gets an RBI.
Oh, you know what happened? it hit the runner after it hit Morales.
Wow. So that's a break for the Angels.
Yeah, watching the replay, it hit Suzuki. After the ball hit Morales' glove, it hit the runner and then carried back to Morales.
Here's Ellis. He doubled the other way his last time up. Mosley to the plate, curveball, and it's over for strike one. Now, if it's the other way around, if it hits the base runner, in this case Suzuki, before it touches the defender, then he is out. But because the defender made contact first, it's a live ball. The one-strike pitch. Breaking ball again, grounded up the middle by Ellis, a base hit. Suzuki's around third. Here comes the throw by Hunter. Here comes Suzuki. He stumbles toward the plate and somehow gets his right hand on it. And the A's have a 3-2 lead. Suzuki with an awkward slide at the plate, trying to avoid the catcher Mathis coming up the third baseline on the Torrey Hunter throw to the plate. It's an RBI for Ellis and a 3-2 Oakland lead. Suzuki came inside under Mathis as Mathis received the baseball up the third baseline and then tried to come back and tag him. He kind of stumbled and then stuck that right hand on it as he went by. Fastball in there to Ryan Sweeney for strike one.
And Ellis got to second on the play alertly. And it was a little stumble and a bumble by Suzuki, but he got in there. It wasn't pretty.
Almost like a Matt Holliday face plant at the plate. Ryan is 1 for 2 tonight. He swings at the next offering. Fouls it out of play off to the left. And it is 0-2.
Now the bottom of the fourth becomes critical for Trevor Cahill to get the old shutdown inning.
They provided him with a 3-2 lead. The A's with a 3 spot here in the fourth inning, still batting with Ellis at second base. Hunter's throw with a tail on it, and that's what allowed Suzuki to avoid being out at the plate. Off-speed pitch down and in, a slider. Check swing by Sweeney. He pulled back in time. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mark Ellis 2 for 2 tonight out of the 9 spot. Driving in a run. Remember, 2 years ago, he drove in 76, talking about Mark. Batted .276 that year with 19 home runs. 1-2 pitch. Down and in again. Breaking ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
A good approach by the A's hitters against a guy who's trying to spot his pitches. They have 6 singles. They're not trying to do too much with Justin Mosley. A lot of hits up the middle so far.
And again, they play Sweeney the other way. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball to the inside corner. Came back to the edge. He's gone a-looking. And the inning is over. But the damage done by the A's. 3 runs home on 4 hits. And it's on to the bottom of the fourth. Oakland in front for the first time in 09. They lead the Angels 3-2. On to the bottom of the fourth inning, and Trevor Cahill now pitches with a 3-2 lead, facing the 8th batter, the catcher, Jeff Mathis, and offers a sinker that drops in for strike one. Mathis doubled and scored on a wild pitch in the second inning. Then Eric Ibarn back to the top with Sean Figgins. Cahill winds and comes to the plate, swinging a ground ball to third, right at Chavez, who was near the bag. Gloves across the diamond to Nomar, and there's 1 out. And like you mentioned, Ken, trying to find a way to put up a 0 here, hold on to the lead as Trevor Cahill continues through his major league debut.
Get some ground ball out. This infield defense is outstanding. Let those guys do their job.
Ibar laid down a sacrifice out in front of the plate. First time up. Switch hitter batting left. He draws Chavez in on the grass at third. Nomar close at first base. And now the offer to the 9 batter. He shortens the bunt. Off-speed delivery from Cahill, misses outside for ball 1. The A's got RBIs from Cust, Buck, and Ellis in the top of the inning to build their 3-2 lead on 7 hits. The Angels 2 runs on 4 hits. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball just wide. 2 balls and no strikes. Now 5 ground ball outs for Trevor Cahill to this point. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Fastball in there, taken all the way by Ibar. And it is 2-1. Trevor 22-9 in his minor league career. 2-time organizational pitcher of the year, both in 07 and last year, 08. His 2-1 fastball misses inside, does not come back to the corner like Mosley's been able to accomplish with regularity tonight.
Only 42 professional starts.
Less than 200 professional innings. Is 3-1. Fastball right through there, and again taken by Ibar to fill the count at 3-2. 1 out, nobody on. A lot of room in right center for Ibar. Holds the bat high. The pitch is over but low, and Ibar will be awarded first base on the base on balls allowed by Trevor Cahill. That is the 4th walk surrendered by Cahill. His pitch count is already over 70, so clearly he will not be long for this game. He has to get 4 more outs with the lead just to qualify for a win in his big league debut. And he's got to navigate, if he's still out there, through the top and middle of the Angel lineup. Here's Figgins. He walked, stole a base, and scored in the first, and a fly ball to right in the second. Switch hitter batting left. The offer. He shortens the bunt. He takes up and in, and is 1-0. Figgins twice under the save-a list last year with the hamstring problems. Hit .243 against the A's last season. He scored 2 runs for the Angels in their playoff series against the Red Sox. And he will probably lead off the majority of the campaign, as he did a year ago. Playing him the other way also. Good speed at first with Ibar. Cahill readies, comes to the plate a little quicker, but it's low. And now behind Figgins, 2 balls and no strikes. He got the first batter, Mathis, then walked Ibar, and he's behind Figgins. On-the-job training at the highest level.
Boy, Kurt Young goes to the mound, and the A's pitching coach has his hands full this year.
Well, Trevor Cahill, at least from what we've seen to this point, is more of a stuff guy. Hasn't really shown command. I mean, he has, talking about Cahill, has unbelievable movement on his pitches. But how does he find a way to equate that into either swings and misses or the ball put in play early in the count, or pitches that he can consistently command behind in the count? Kurt back to the dugout. He'll be our guest tomorrow in our expanded pregame coverage. Our Wednesday feature, Coach's Corner, back for 2009. Cahill ready to go. He's got a 3-2 lead in the 4th. 2-0 pitch, runner holds, and there's a strike. Figgins takes it all the way. No activity in the A's bullpen. Dino Ebel, an extended series of signs down the third base coaching lines. See if Mike Scioscia puts a play on here. Cahill kicks and fires, runner holds. Fly ball to left center field. Sweeney is over along with Buck, who's going to take it. Almost a collide, and Sweeney steps in front of Buck, and he pulls it in. Ryan Sweeney, is something he has to do if he's going to be the center fielder, and that is take charge. Buck was over there. Seemed like for a moment they might bump, but right at the last instant, sticking out his glove is Sweeney to make the catch, and he was definitely calling for it. With a crowd of 40,000 sometimes, difficult to hear. And here comes the tough Howie Kendrick. 2 fly balls tonight. He's hit the ball well, although he's 0 for 2. Had the home run and 2 RBIs last night. A turn and a throwback to first.
Remember last year with Sweeney beginning the year in center field for the A's, they didn't feel he was assertive enough out there, so they implored him to become more aggressive and take charge.
Infield back now. Cahill to the plate, and a sinking fastball is low, ball 1.
Living dangerously, though, with 4 walks.
Well, he's only thrown a first pitch strike to 8 of 20 batters. Again, trying to harness the movement on the power sinker. The 1-0. Fastball just outside, and because he hasn't been consistently around the plate, at least in the eyes of Larry Vanover, on a pitch like the one he just delivered to Kendrick, which was very close, he does not get the call. And 1 ball, 1 strike makes a difference. 2-0 really puts the hitter ready to rear back and let loose. Another turn and a throw back to first. Dana Evelyn tomorrow night for the Athletics. He gets the baseball, 9-game winner a year ago against the youngster Nick Adenhart, who pitched against the A's unsuccessfully in May of last year. One of the top pitching prospects for the Halos. Fastball runs up and in. 3 balls and no strikes. I can't imagine the leash staying much longer with Trevor Cahill. Abreu is on deck. The 3-0. Taken low and outside, ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning. Trying to pitch with a 1-run lead. 5 walks allowed tonight. And here comes the dangerous Abreu.
Well, you want to give the kid the chance to work through it. They'd love to see him go 5 innings. But I think the phone is ringing as we're speaking in the Athletics bullpen.
And now the veteran Abreu. He's from Venezuela. Originally property of the Houston Astros. Part of a great springboard for young players in Venezuela that included the likes of Freddie Garcia, Melvin Moore, and Richard Hidalgo and others. Drove in 100 last year for the Yankees. He's driven in 100 or more 7 straight years. First pitch to Abreu to the outside corner. And it's 0-1. And a team that is looking for some support because Guerrero's numbers last year when they acquired Teixeira really exploded. And Teixeira is gone. They've kind of put that on the shoulders of Abreu, batting in the 3 spot. 2 on, 2 out. The 1-strike pitch is up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. And there is a right-hander loosening in the A's bullpen. And that right-hander is Michael Wirtz, who unleashed a power slider last night that we did not see with much consistency down in Arizona. The 1-1. Fastball stays inside under the hands of Abreu for ball 2. Kendrick at first, Ibar at second. All the Angels can run. Abreu 0 for 2 tonight. 2 ground balls, 1 to second and 1 to short. He is 1 for 6 to start the season. The 2-1. Missing high above the belt. And now 3 balls and a strike. Vlad Guerrero waits on deck. It seems like Trevor Cahill is very much on borrowed time right now. About to deliver his 84th pitch. The 3-1. Swung on, grounded right at the second baseman. Ellis has it. On to first. The inning is over. Cahill survives a rocky 4th inning and keeps the Halos off the board and holds on to the Oakland lead. On to the 5th, 3-2 Athletics.
Garcia Parra. 67 pitches, 47 strikes for Dustin Mosley. Now the right-hander delivers, and here's the 1-0 pitch to Cabrera, taken for a strike. How about Rex Hudler? Little late dining for Hud in the Angels radio booth next door. He's very big with the sushi out here at the ballpark. The 1-1 pitch is taken outside 2-1. They have a roll named after him. Now he is literally eating the Hud roll.
That's
right
big.
Now, right next door. That is big. It's the Hud roll. Tomorrow night, Vinny. The 2-1 delivery to Cabrera sprayed foul to the right back out of play. The Angels single runs in the 1st and 2nd. The A's a 3-run 4th.
I thought only Ichiro had his own sushi roll.
He has the Ichi roll.
He's got the Ichi roll at the Safeco Field in Seattle.
I got to try some of those Hud rolls. Outfield straight away. Ready now in the pitch by Mosley. It's a 2-2. It's on the way to Cabrera. Lifted foul back to the right out of play. Orlando Cabrera, 274 lifetime hitter, 2-time Gold Glover. A career that began in '97 with Montreal. In that 4-team, 8-player deal also involving Garcia Parra, dealt by Montreal to Boston during the season of 2004. 2-2 is dribbled fouled on the third baseline. 3 years with the Angels, 05, 06, and 07. And last year batted .281 for the White Sox. Look at the runs scored. The A's would love this year. Runs scored for Cabrera the last 3 years. 95, 101, and 93. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch to Orlando is outside corner, ring him up. A delayed call by Vanover. Cabrera can't believe it. He was on his way to first base. And so Cabrera caught looking, and that'll bring up Giambi. Jason's 0 for 2. And 0 for 5 to begin his campaign in his return to the Athletics. Mathis out to the mound. Now the Halos the full shift on the infield, and just Figgins on the left side. Athletics 3 runs on 7 hits and no errors. The Angels 2 runs on 4 hits and no errors. Jason, by the way, is sitting on 396 lifetime home runs and a curveball taken for a ball. He would become the 44th player to reach the 400 homer plateau. Outfield toward right. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and Giambi, and they've been busting him inside with a fastball all day. Taken for a strike, and it's 1-1. Mosley, first base side of the rubber, and the right-hander with the 1-1 pitch to Giambi. Breaking ball is taken low, and it's 2-1. 7:05 tomorrow for Game 3 of the series. 7:25 on Thursday. A's back home at 7:05 Friday night with Seattle. Seattle lost to Minnesota 6-5 tonight. 2-1 pitch by Dustin Mosley. He throws, and that's taken for a strike on the inside corner. They're targeting May 1st for the at least possible returns of John Lackey and Irvin Santana.
I don't know how Lackey can do that after he said that he was still feeling pain just beginning his throwing program yesterday.
There's a forearm problem. 2-2 pitch, and Giambi hits a line drive, sizzled into center field for a base hit. Jason's first hit of 2009, solid base hit to center. And that'll bring up Nomar. Well, you're right, Lackey actually played catch before the ball game here last night. The first time he had played catch, even played catch since March 26th. Irvin Santana, a partial tear of the ligament in his right elbow. So here's Nomar. He's leading 3-2, 1 out, 1 on, top of the 5th in Anaheim. On a breezy night, and the pitch to Garcia Parra popped up left side. That'll be out of play in the lower deck. A sea of red as usual here. A lot of promotions this week, Vince, with heavily discounted tickets at the ballpark.
And they seem to have responded on a Tuesday night. Though it is spring break for many in Southern California.
0-1, 1 out, Garcia Parra. Slightly open stance. And the pitch to Nomar, the 0-1 waved at by Garcia Parra, and the count 0-2. 8 300 seasons in Nomar's career. 7 years of 20 homers or more. Eric Chavez waiting on deck. Giambi takes his lead from first, a short lead. Morales holding on the bag, and the 0-2 to Nomar is very high, 1-2. Tickets going for as low as $3 for the ball game tonight.
Are those in the Rock Garden?
Might be in the pond. The home of the Mighty Ducks, the hockey team. That's out beyond the center field fence and out beyond the 57 freeway. Breaking ball to Nomar, spoiled off foul off to the right, out of play. We can see the big arena, the pond clearly in view out beyond center field here. Out beyond the rock pile. The Big A in Anaheim opened in 1996, or in 66. Renovated in 96. The 1-2 to Garcia Parra is driven high in the air to left, but it's Foyle. Rivera is under it. And Juan Rivera right there to make the catch. That's out number 2. Garcia Parra flies out, and Chavez coming up. On sale now, fans. The best ticket plans to see your 2009 Oakland A's. Get discounted ticket prices, priority seat selection, and special deals on A's merchandise. Full and partial season plans are available starting for as little as $66. Call the A's at 510-638-4627. That's 510-638-GO-A'S. And you can order today. Chavez takes a fastball for a strike. A's got 3 runs in the 4th inning off Dustin Mosley. 4 singles in the frame by Garcia-Parra, Cuss, Suzuki, and Ellis. Now the pitch to Chavez. Outside 1-1. They're doing the wave down here. Haven't seen any beach balls in the outfield yet. Hitting room out in right center field. A big gap out there. Mathis sets up outside. The 1-1 to Chavez is taken low, and it's 2-1. A's and the Mariners this weekend. Looks like Ryan Roland Smith on Friday night, Felix Hernandez on Saturday, and Eric Bedard on Sunday afternoon. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. It's on the way. Line drive and a leaping catch for the shortstop. Ibar going to his left, juggling with a snow cone and holding on. Chavez lines out. He's denied on a well-hit ball. The A's denied in the 5th. And halfway through our ball game tonight, after 4.5, the Athletics on top of the Angels, 3-2. Vladimir Guerrero leads off for the Angels, bottom of the 5th inning. Trevor Cahill has been living on the edge tonight. He's walked 5, he's given up 4 hits, but he's leading 3-2. And Guerrero, Hunter, and Morales for the Halos against the A's right-hander. And the pitch by Trevor, here it is. That's taken for a strike in the outside corner. Very bright young man. Apparently had an offer to attend Dartmouth before he signed with the A's, after being drafted in June of '06. And Guerrero, it's a high fly ball to right center field. Going to hang up for Ryan Sweeney, the center fielder. Cuss from right. Cuss drops it. And now it's fielded by Sweeney. Throws to second. Guerrero with a slide safely. A complete misplay in the outfield on a ball that had to have been caught. That's the first time we've seen the effects of an A's outfield that figures to be average at best really hurting the ball club. The ball really hung up, and I thought Sweeney was going to catch it. He gave way, and Cuss came from right, and he just dropped it. And if you're going to play Jack Cuss in right field, you are going to have to accept and live with plays like that. So now here's Torrey Hunter. And the pitch by Cahill on the way, and that's taken for a strike on the inside corner. That's the last thing the A's and Trevor Cahill needed right there. He's thrown a lot of pitches. He's wobbled around. He made a good pitch, and he got Guerrero to pop out, or to seemingly pop out. Now the sinker is hit back to the mound, taken by Cahill. He's got Guerrero in a rundown, runs right at him, throws the ball to Cabrera. He chases him to Chavez, and Chavez tags him out, but on the play, Torrey Hunter winds up at second base. So Guerrero stayed in the rundown long enough to allow Hunter to get to second base. 1-6-5. In fact, the Angels actually get a faster runner to replace Guerrero at second base.
He committed too quickly, talking about Cahill. He was running right at Guerrero and then just kind of stopped and flipped it to Ellis, and that's when Guerrero did the right thing and went to the forward base. But they did get it out, and that helps.
So that'll bring up Kendry Morales, who's walked in double. The A's clinging to a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. Is that Wirtz back up to throw in the bullpen? I believe it is. Here's a whirl and a bluff, and Hunter back to second base.
It is the sinker slider specialist.
Outfield, a gap in right center for Kendry Morales, a switch hitter batting left. 88 pitches for Trevor Cahill.
And back-to-back right-hand batters following here.
And the pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Just to refresh your memory, last year the Angels were the only team in the American League West to finish over 500. 100 wins and 62 losses. Center field, Sweeney shaded toward left center, Cuss straight away and right, a whirl and a bluff, and Hunter back to second. Texas finished in second place, 79 and 83. The Athletics, 75 and 86. And Seattle, 101 and 101, with a payroll of over $100 million. Here's the pitch to Morales on the way, and he takes low, and it's 2-0. First base is open. Morales, actually, it turned out to be an intentional walk in the first inning. It came after the count went to 3-0. They made it official on the fourth one. Cahill, first base side of the rubber, the backward glance, and the 2-0 pitch in the dirt, blocked by Suzuki. They might do it again. They might walk him intentionally again. 3-0. Suzuki looking into the dugout, but now settles into a crouch behind the plate. 3-2 A's, one out, runner at second. We're in the bottom of the fifth. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Taken for a strike on the inside corner. The Angels last year batted .268, seventh in the American League. They scored 765 runs. That was 10th best. So Torrey Hunter leads at second. Kendry Morales, an open stance. He's right on top of the plate. Juan Rivera waiting on deck. And now the 3-1 delivery. Here it is. Sinker, bounce to the right side, foul, and it's 3-2. One thing the Angels did very well in their excellent regular season last year, as it's raining now in Anaheim. Actually more of a drizzle, but it's getting wet. The Angels had the best road record in Major League Baseball last year. They won 50 games on the road. That's really impressive. They were 50 and 32. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second. The A's lead 3-2. Cahill, the high set. Checks, deals, a whirl and a bluff now. Did not throw to the plate. Bluffing Hunter back to second base.
In time, Trevor Cahill will get more comfortable with a veteran like Hunter, who's trying to get in his head and just focus on making a big pitch here at the plate.
3-2 on the way. Here it is, and it swung on, lifted foul, out of play, left side. So the predicted precipitation is here.
Maybe a little bit ahead of schedule, depending on who you are listening to.
Well, I know you check out the Weather Channel religiously.
I leave that to you. I always enjoy the upcoming reports when we're heading on the road.
All right, the 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Morales waiting. Cahill. Runner goes to third. The pitch is a line drive, base hit to center field. And so Torrey Hunter will score the tying run on a line drive, base hit by Morales. And we're tied up at 3-3 as the Angels get an unearned run in the bottom of the fifth inning.
I think he really occupied a lot of Trevor's attention out there, dancing off of second base. Went from 3-0 back to 3-2, but a guy that relies on ground balls, that pitch was at the belt, maybe slightly above, and Morales was all over it.
Good pitch to hit. So here is Juan Rivera, who's 0 for 2. I think at this point, Guerin might take it batter to batter with Cahill. 95 pitches. And the delivery is inside, and it's 1-0. Guerrero reached on the air as Torrey Hunter. That was a big play that Guerrero stayed in the rundown. Maybe the A's weren't quite as sharp as they could have been, but Hunter got to second base on the play. Here's the 1-0 now. Swinging a foul tip straight back, and it's 1-1. Over the last 136 games played between the A's and the Angels, the A's have won 68, and the Angels have won 68. And we're tied up at 3 in the fifth inning tonight. Outfield straight up, the pitch to Rivera is a high strike. He didn't like it, and now it's 1-2. The Angels won the division in 07 as well, when they had 94 wins, 94 and 68. The A's won the West in 06. A's, of course, getting to the ALCS in 2006 before the Athletics lost to the Tigers. 1-2, and a quick throw to first, stepping back to the bag, Kendry Morales. Left field, Buck, a step or two toward the left field line. Center field, Sweeney, a step toward right center. Custon right, a step toward the right field line. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Gets him with a sinker away, and Rivera strikes out. And for Trevor Cahill, his first major league strikeout. That'll bring up Jeff Mathis, who's doubled and bounced out. If he can get through 5, 3 runs, 2 earned, even though he's wobbled around and walked 5, I think the kid would still have to feel fairly good about his maiden voyage in the big league.
Well, there's been a lot of attention on this night, especially a kid who's from the area.
Here's the delivery taken by Mathis for a strike, and it's still, I mean, you're a kid. You grew up in San Diego. Now you're facing a team that's only an hour away from your hometown. You're looking at guys like Bobby Abreu and Guerrero and Torrey Hunter, you know, Sean Figgins and Kendrick. 0-1 now, and Mathis takes a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Morales, the runner at first for the Angels, in a 3-3 tie in the bottom of the 5th. Hitting room in right center, Mathis a right-handed hitter. And the 0-2 delivery to Mathis outside. The Angels have been in the postseason 5 times in the last 7 years. The A's 5 times in the last 9 years. Slightly open stance for Jeff Mathis. Cahill, first base side of the slab. And the 1-2 with the runner going is taken outside. Throw by Suzuki. Tagged by Ellis. Out at second base is Kendry Morales. A perfect throw right on the bag by Suzuki. 2-4 in the play at second base. Ellis applying the tag, and the inning is over. And after 5, it's a 3-3 tie.
OaklandAthletics.com.
As we go to the top of the 6th inning, we'll pause 10 seconds to allow our stations to identify themselves on the Oakland A's radio network. Along with Vince Cotroneo and Ray Fosse, I'm Ken Korak. It's great to have you with us, kind of meandering our way through this ball game on a Tuesday night. Approaching the 2-hour mark, top of the 6th inning begins in a 3-3 tie with Cuss leading it off, and Jack is 2 for 2. And Dustin Mosley is still pitching a strike in the outside corner. Darren Oliver is up in the Angels bullpen. And I'm sure that Cahill's night is over after going 5 innings. Here's the delivery by Mosley to Cuss, a huge cut, 0-2. 3 runs, 8 hits, and error. The A's have left 5. The Angels, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They've left 7. Deep and right, straight away, Bobby Abreu, shaded toward left center. The center fielder, Torrey Hunter. 0-2 on the way to Cuss. Here's the pitch. Mosley throws and drops the breaking ball outside, 1-2. We'll check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by the Contra Costa Times, the Bay Area's best. The Giants came back and beat Milwaukee 10-6. Joe Martinez got the win over Jeff Suppan. Martinez' first major league win. Cuss takes the fastball low, 2-2. Aaron Rowand, Benji Molina, and Randy Wynn went deep for San Francisco. Atlanta shut out Philly 4-0 behind Jair Jurgens. Losing pitcher was Jamie Moyer. 2-2. Cuss takes low, 3-2. So Oliver throwing in the bullpen. The A's have Cuss, a left-hand hitter, batting. Suzuki, a right-handed hitter, on deck, and then Buck, a left-handed hitter. And this will be a 3-2 delivery. Here it is by Mosley, and Cuss swings and misses, and down he goes on strike. Cuss K's, Suzuki coming up. The Marlins on the strength of a 5-run bottom of the 4th inning, defeated the Nationals 8-3. Josh Johnson got the win. Home runs by Dan Ugla and Jorge Cantu. Number 2 for Cantu. I assume nothing was inside the park tonight. Emilio Bonifacio. He did have a triple, Robert Vaughn, thank you. High for a ball. Taken by Suzuki. 3-3 tie, 1 out, nobody on, top of the 6th.
That's quite a full sentence, saying Carl Yastrzemski and Emilio Bonifacio in the same sentence.
I wouldn't have guessed that the last inside the park home run on opening day would have come from Yaz. In there for a strike, 1968. 1-1 the count to Suzuki. The Astros, with a run in the bottom of the 10th inning, beat the Cubs 3-2. Doug Brocail got the win. He's got to be 48 years old by now, huh? Line drive to right, going to carry to Abreu, who's right there to make the catch. Suzuki lines out. How old is Brocail? About 40?
He's definitely 40, maybe 41. Interesting story about him. You know, we talk about the end of spring training, that you want to get out of there healthy. How about poor Jamie Carroll for Cleveland? The last at bat of the last inning of the last spring training game, he was hit by a Doug Brocail pitch. As it turns out, it broke his hand. Indians had to put him onto the disabled list, and Tony Graffinino got called up.
Tony Graffinino. So here's Buck. 2 out, nobody on. 3-3 in the 6th. The A's lost Randy Velarde in a ball game in Las Vegas at the very end of spring training about 8 or 9 years ago. So Travis Buck flied to left and bounced out, drove in a run. On that bounce out in the 4th inning, Mosley's delivery is inside of the count, 1-1. The Cardinals defeated Pittsburgh 9-3 behind Kyle Loesch. Home runs by Duncan Pujols and Yadier Molina. Low for a ball at 2-1. Rockies and Diamondbacks have gone to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Colorado is leading 3-0. Ubaldo Jimenez pitching for Colorado tonight.
My guy.
Ubaldo. 2-1 pitch. Line drive in the center, a base hit, a solid single for Travis Buck. So Buck has his first hit of the year. And after what he went through to begin last year, the 0 for 22 that Vince mentioned, that has to feel pretty good. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, coming out. Ellis coming up for the A's. And this might be the last batter for Dustin Mosley, with the left-handed batting Sweeney on deck and the veteran Darren Oliver heating up in the bullpen. The A's have their 9th hit. We're tied up at 3. We're playing in the top of the 6th inning. Ubaldo Jimenez. Danny Herron started for the D-backs and pitched well. He left after 7 and gave up just 1 run. Meanwhile, the Dodgers and the Padres, Randy Wolf against Chris Young, and the Padres are leading 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here we're tied up at 3, top of the 6th in Anaheim. Ellis has doubled and singled and has an RBI. Mosley, Mathis sets up away. The pitch to Mark is off the outside corner with a fastball, 1-0. White Sox beat Kansas City 4-2 on the 3-run home run by Jim Thome in the bottom of the 8th, number 542. Here's the 1-0 to Ellis. Outside 2-0. Next up on the all-time list, by the way, with Thome hitting number 542 today, Mike Schmidt is 13th at 548. Ken Griffey Jr. hit number 612 yesterday for Seattle. The A's will see Jr. back in the American League this weekend. Part of the rarefied air of the 600 club, just outside for a ball. And that was a close pitch. 3-0. Next up for Jr. would be the Say Hey Kid, 660. 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch to Ellis. In for a strike in the outside corner, and the count 3-1.
Let's jump way ahead and say Ken Griffey Jr. hits 18 home runs this year and drives in 75 runs.
Mm-hmm.
Does he continue his career?
I think it'd be up to him.
Yeah.
Here's the 3-2. Runner goes 3-2 to Ellis as a bouncy ball off the glove of the pitcher Mosley. Caroms a second, taken by Kendrick. Throw to first in time for the out, and the inning is over. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning in Southern California. A's 3, Angels 3. Bottom of the 6th inning with the ball game tied up at 3. The right-hander Michael Wirtz comes out of the A's bullpen. He pitched a scoreless inning last night. Reminder, the A's take on the Mariners on Saturday at 1:05. You know, Vince, it's Pet Adoption Day. And 15,000 fans get a 2009 calendar of the A's and their pets.
We adopted Bernice.
Did you really? That's cool.
The Basset Hound, yeah.
Brought to you by Avoderm. For more information or to order tickets, you can go to OaklandAthletics.com to get a 2009 calendar of the A's and their pets. Are you on there with Bernice? You part of the calendar with
the calendar. Nor did Bernice.
Here is Mathis against Michael Wirtz in a slider high 1-0. 3-9-1 for the A's, 3-5-0 for the Angels. Michael Wirtz acquired by the A's in the offseason from the Cubs. Right-hander working from the stretch, throws, and darts one over the outside corner with a fastball. 1-1.
Celebrating the 30th anniversary of his no-hitter.
Michael Wirtz last year in 45 games for the Cubs, 1-1, 3.63 ERA. Next pitch, a fastball high, 2-1. 73 games in the big leagues in 07. Lives in Scottsdale, was born in Minnesota. He's 30, 6'3", 205. 2-1, and a bouncy ball toward third, taken foul by Chavez.
Well, we noticed last night something that we really didn't get a lot of in spring training from Michael, but knew that it was part of his arsenal. The way that the slider bit and disappeared down and away and got swings and misses last night against the right-hand batters. It's a pitch that he certainly has to live with to be successful. It's a pitch that has been at times inconsistent in his National League career.
Acquired a couple of months ago from the Cubs for Richie Robnett and Justin Sellers. Swing and a miss. There's a slider that time, and down on strikes is Mathis. 1 out, and that'll bring up Eric Ibar. It's not just the aerodynamics or the fact the humidity makes the ball move more when you get out of the desert. One of the big factors is just being able to grip the ball better. That ball can get awfully slippery out in Arizona in the springtime. So here's Eric Ibar, who's sacrificed and walked. Santiago Casillas up in the A's bullpen. Wirtz made his big league debut for the Cubs in 04. And the pitch, a strike on the inside corner. So Trevor Cahill, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 walks, 1 intentional, 1 strikeout. And the pitch is a line drive down the right field line, a base hit in the corner. Cuss tracking it, Ibar going around first, headed to second with a stand-up double. On a fastball that was elevated from Michael Wirtz, Ibar lines a 2-base hit down the right field line. And that'll bring up Figgins. So Figgins has walked and flied out twice. A's 3, Angels 3. Bottom of the 6th inning. Wirtz out of the stretch, checks the runner at second, and to the plate, here it is. And that's in for a strike, a fastball, 0-1. One of the best trades in Angels history between the Angels and the Rockies. In July of 01, it was Figgins from Colorado for the outfielder Chimera Bartiz. The 0-1 by Wirtz. Check swing, dribbler to short, tough play, charging Cabrera, cross the body, throwing a hop, and it's dug out by Garcia Parra. Good play on both ends. On the play over to third goes Ibar. Not a moment's hesitation, no time to hesitate. A charging play in the hole, the off-balance throw by Cabrera, and the dig by Nomar for the second out.
And good for Nomar after the frustrating couple of hops, the skimming throw last night from Cabrera off the bat of Guerrero on a similar kind of play, softly hit on the left side. Nice play by Garcia Parra. He was an all-star in 2006 with the Dodgers when he primarily played first base.
And that was a tougher chance last night, don't you think?
But yeah, several hops, and that last hop kind of took that in-between awkward bounce to him.
Now, runner at third. We're tied up at 3 in the bottom of the 6th inning, and here's Kendrick, and he's tough. Abreu is on deck. The pitch to Howie Kendrick by Michael Wirtz in the dirt, blocked by Suzuki. Good play by Suzuki. Howie Kendrick batting for the Angels. Bottom of the 6th inning. Wirtz checks to get his sign. Ibar leads from third. Here's the 1-0 delivery. He throws, and it's high and outside. Left field Buck straight up. Center field Sweeney about 3 steps toward right center. Right fielder Cuss a step toward the line. Kendrick has a closed stance. He wears number 47 for the Halos. Wirtz with a sign. Ready now. The set. 2-0. Slider darting over the outside corner. 2-1 to Howie Kendrick. Now the 2-1 pitch is on the way, and Kendrick swings and misses on a slider. 2-2. Not unlike Kiko Calero. The slider is the out pitch for Wirtz.
Kiko Calero, a Florida Marlin.
Yeah, got a job. Runner at third, tied up at 3 in the bottom of the 6th. And now the 2-2 offering is swung on and missed. Got it with a slider away, and Wirtz works out of it. The Angels leave Ibar at third, and after 6, still a 3-3 tie.
Number 65, Kevin Justin, will be the new pitcher.
Program. For more information, click on community at oaklandathletics.com.
After 6 innings for the Athletics, 3 runs and 9 hits, an error. For the Angels, 3 runs on 6 hits and no errors. New pitcher in the game for the Halos. 7th inning, here's Vince.
The right-hander Kevin Jepson, 24 years of age, from right here in Anaheim. And finally reached the big leagues last season for 9 games, an 0-1 record, a 4.32 ERA. Nearly a strikeout per inning in his minor league career. Works out of the stretch. Following Dustin Mosley in his 3-3 game. Top of the order for the A's, Sweeney, Cabrera, and Giambi. Hard-throwing Jepson's first pitch is laced out of play to the left for strike 1. He can dial it up in the mid-90s. He pitched so well, or they thought so much of him, that he knocked Justin Spire off the postseason roster for the Halos last year. He didn't pitch against the Red Sox, but he was active in the ALDS. A swing and a ground ball, base hit over the mound and into center field. So Ryan Sweeney is 2 for 4 tonight. 2 for 8 in the series. Go ahead run aboard, and here comes Cabrera, and we'll see how Bob Guerin decides to play it. Dustin Mosley, maybe not quite as good as Joe Saunders last night. Of course, Saunders kept the A's from scoring, but not bad. He went 6 innings. He scattered 9 hits, allowed the 3 runs all in the 4th inning. Didn't walk a batter, effective with that comeback fastball, struck out 3. And now here's Cabrera. He's 0 for 3. Jepson kicks and fires, and the pitch is hit foul. Cabrera swinging all the way in that first offering. 43,396 tonight. It is a sellout here. Biggins, even with the bag, off the line to third. Hunter maybe a step toward right center. All the hits for the A's, with the exception of the Ellis double, have been singles. They have yet to launch their first 0-9 home run. The 1-strike pitch, curve, sweeps outside, and it's 1-1 on Cabrera. Hit into a fielder's choice, a fly ball to right, and a strikeout tonight. Takes a long look at Mike Gallego with the signs outside the third base coach's box. Cabrera 1 for 7 in the series. Sweeney, good speed at first base, being held by Morales. Jepson to the belt. The leg kick in the pitch. Fastball outside. Snap throw back to first, and just in safely with the right hand on the back of the base is Sweeney. Quick, accurate throw by Jeff Mathis, almost from his knees on a design play, delivering the pitch to the outer part of the plate. And on a check swing, they do ask after the play, did Cabrera go around? And the answer is no. So 2 balls and a strike. Giambi waits on deck in this 3-3 game. The set. And now Jepson steps off and looks Sweeney back to first base. Ryan understanding that in this role, at least at the outset of the season, as the A's leadoff man, that he might be put in motion a little more this year. He did get 9 steals in 10 tries last season, in a year that had some injuries to his legs. A swing and a high pop on the right side of the infield from Cabrera. Kendrick in the baseline makes the catch. So pop up to the second baseman. And here comes Giambi. Jason singled in his last at bat. His first hit in his return engagement with the green and gold. And looking for a lot more. Mosley was working him inside with the comeback fastball quite a bit. Not quite the overshift on Jason. First pitch delivery, it is inside. This one too tight at 96 miles an hour, ball 1. Kendrick with the runner on at first, and Sweeney can't play shallow right like he has in other situations with Giambi up there. But Figgins is over playing shortstop, and Ibar is maybe 2 steps away from being behind the bag at second. Jepson comes inside and misses low. Now 2 balls and no strikes to Jason. Giambi a year ago, 32 homers. 96 driven in for the Yankees. He got off to a slow start. The stretch, the 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Another fastball from Jepson. This one clocked at 94 miles an hour. Now 2 balls and a strike. He hit only 164 in April with the Yankees a year ago, talking about Jason Giambi. Had 5 home runs. Outfield deep. Sweeney with the lead at first. Here comes the 2-1. Fastball broken back, grounder right side. The barrel goes past the mound. It goes past Kendrick to his backhand side and ends up in shallow center field. The baseball was near the A's dugout as the bat literally exploded in Giambi's bat. So he had a black 2-tone model up until this point now, just the standard colored bat now. At 2 balls and 2 strikes. Actually a black bat through and through. A's were down 2-0. They took a 3-2 lead in the 4th. And then the Angels came back to tie it up on a base hit by Morales in the 5th inning. An inning which began with a misplay in the outfield by Jack Cust. 2-2 offer. Breaking ball pulled outside of first base. Ricochets off of the fencing in front of the A's dugout on the first base side. Still 2-2. Danny Evelyn tomorrow and Nick Aidenhart, 7:05 first pitch. Our coach's corner begins at 6:15 with our expanded pregame coverage, followed on the network by Ray Fosse and the A's warm-up. In the Bay Area, Marty Lurie with right off the bat begins our coverage at 5 o'clock. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a ground ball up the first baseline, foul. Came inside again on Jason. Just got enough of it. It stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. The White Sox have won today. The Red Sox have won. Minnesota beat Seattle, and Toronto came back and beat Detroit. All very close games in the American League tonight. The 2-2 again. Breaking ball. Top spin liner lands for a hit in front of Abreu in right field. And that will advance Sweeney to second. So Jason, realizing that as much as he tried to work on going to the opposite field during spring training, the reality is that they're going to keep on busting him inside, and was able to turn on that pitch from Jepson. So 2 on for Nomar in a 3-3 game. That's 11 hits now for the A's against the Halos.
He's gone through a lot of what a lot of power hitters go through, because Frank Thomas talked about it a lot too. And maybe people wonder, how come your average isn't as good as it used to be? You know, when you get pounded inside that often, it's tough to use the opposite field. It's tough to go the other way, and I think Jason, especially back with the A's, would like to use left center field more.
Nomar is 1 for 3 of the runs scored. Jepson to the stretch. A glance at second. The late kick of the pitch. A fastball popped up behind first, and that's out of play for strike 1. Well, Frank Thomas, when he came over, talked about, here's a guy that, you know, built a Hall of Fame career by wearing out right center field. He said, at that stage of my career, I had to pick a side of the plate, and I picked the inner half of the plate. He was more conscious of trying to pull the ball. 0-1 delivery, bouncing ball to third, and over Gallego out of play. And now Nomar is down to the count 0-2. And as much as Jason wants to use the other side of the field like he did so successfully in his first tenure with the A's, and at some point got away from it in his Yankee days because of the short porch, the pitcher doesn't give it to you. You got to take what is given to you to this point. 0-2 slider down low. Nomar had a notion pull back. That's 1 ball, 2 strikes. One way that Jason will be able to use left center field is to continue to have success on the inside pitches that maybe they won't come in quite as frequently as they have in the early part of this campaign. 1-2 on Garcia Parra. Jepson to the plate. Breaking ball grounded up the middle. It will get into the glove of Kendrick on a dive. Then he dropped it, and everybody is safe. Well, Kendrick may have saved a run, but he didn't get it out. An infield hit for Garcia Parra. Loads the bases. Giambi to second. Sweeney up to third. And now here comes Chavez. They had Darren Oliver loosening in their bullpen earlier tonight. But right now the bullpen is quiet. And Mike Butcher goes back out to the mound to have a conversation with the young right-hander. So Chavez, robbed of a hit his last time up. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Hit a line drive that was ticketed for center field until Ibar stuck his glove out from short and made the play. Oakland 3 and the Angels 3 in the top of the 7th. Opening night at the Coliseum this Friday night. First pitch at 7:05. Weekend series with the Mariners and the Red Sox in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Here's Chavez with 5 career grand slams on his card. Left-hand batter, right-hand pitcher, and a breaking ball cut through and missed. Good, hard slider from Jepson. And it's strike 1 on Eric. Last grand slam up of Josh Towers in 2005. Outfield the other way, the pitch. Breaking ball tapped on the right side, weakly hit. Backhanded by Morales. Has only played a second. In to score is Sweeney. And the A's are back in front 4-3. Chavez, by putting the ball in play, something that was a concern last year, was able to get the A's back in front as he picks up the RBI. Nomar forced at second base. Sweeney home, Giambi at third. 2 outs now, and here comes Cuss. So making contact tonight. The mantra for the A's, and it has paid off. The play went 3-6 at second base. Cuss the single twice, drove in a run, scored a run, and struck out. Walked twice last night. Oakland up by a run, 4-3. Jepson to the plate, and he overthrew the fastball. Sailed up and away, and Mathis had to reach out and get it. And it's ball 1. Texas will resume their series tomorrow with Cleveland after they pounded Cliff Lee yesterday by a 9-1 final. Kevin Millwood threw 113 pitches in the opener for Texas. Here's the 1-0. Fastball upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. In the bottom of the 7th, the A's bullpen will have to contend with the middle of the Halos lineup with Abreu, Guerrero, and Hunter. Outfield deep for Jack. with Torrey Hunter well over toward left center field. Abreu a deep straight up right, and the same for Rivera in left. Breaking ball. Softly hit, shallow center field. Ibar goes out, can't get it. It drops for a hit. In to score Giambi. Up to second base on the plate. Chavez, a bloop RBI base hit, and now the A's have a 2-run lead. 5-3 Oakland on Jack Cust's second run batted in tonight. May have broken his bat. Didn't hit it that well, but found a soft spot over Ibar and in front of Torrey Hunter. So the A's getting a 2-out run. And now Jack Cust is out of the game, and Rajay Davis comes in to pinch run for him, and he'll stay in to play defense. In all likelihood, Rajay will go to center, and Ryan Sweeney will move over to right. Now Kurt Suzuki, he's 1 for 3. Jepson's pitch, fastball, lined the other way, charging in Abreu, and he will reach down and make a knee-high grab, and that ends the inning. But the A's get 2 runs on a total of 4 hits in the inning, on to the bottom of the 7th, with the A's leading the Angels 5-3. Casilla last year had elbow problems, went on the disabled list in mid-May after surrendering a home run to the Indians' Johnny Peralta. He had a 0.93 ERA up to that point, and then it just kind of took the wind out of his sails. It took him a while to get it back. Abreu 0 for 3, 3 ground balls tonight. Willie out of the stretch, the pitch. It's over at the knees for strike 1. 5 runs for the A's, 13 hits, 1 error. It did lead to a run for the Halos, who have 3 on 6 hits. Chavez, even with the bag off the line at third, the pitch, change outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield deep for Abreu, the left-hand batter. Rajay Davis stays in the game in center, and Ryan Sweeney has moved to right. Nomar, a deep first base, he's off the line. The pitch. Fastball off the plate outside. 2 balls and a strike. Guerrero, who has DH'd in the first 2 games, waiting on deck, allowing Abreu to play his natural position of right field, which he did for Team Venezuela also in the WBC, but it's expected to be the left fielder here. He swings at the 2-1, hits it out of play to the left. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dana Evelyn was 0-2 last year against the Halos, with a high earned run average, gets the baseball tomorrow night. He's opposed by Nick Aidenhart. And then Brett Anderson will make his Major League debut to wrap up this first road trip against Jared Weaver of the Halos on Thursday night. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Got him on the changeup. The new pitch for Santiago Casilla. Abreu down on strikes, and there's 1 out. Casilla, who so often fell into a pattern of hard last year, got him in trouble, now may have a new weapon.
The pitch that Ron Romanek has been teaching some of the A's pitchers is the same, excuse me, Vince, it's the same changeup that Rich Harden featured last year.
It's a pretty good changeup.
It's a no-spin changeup. It's tough to pick up for the hitters.
Now here's Guerrero, chops 1 to third, backing up on it is Chavez. Sets his feet, spins, throws low to first, dug out by Nomar. In time to get Guerrero. Boy, Chavez backed up a full stride and almost from the outfield grass made the throw across the diamond for the 2nd out.
The changeup that comes up there with no spin, apparently it's tough to pick up. You can't really read the seams like you'd like to as a hitter. They think it's a fastball. It comes up there straight. At the last second, it dips out of sight. It's a very tough fish to handle.
Now Torrey Hunter, he's 1 for 3 with the run scored. Bottom of the 7th, the A's leading it 5-3. So you're telling me that Santiago Casilla is in the no-spin zone.
Yeah, exactly.
First pitch to Hunter, a fastball too tight, and it's ball 1. Well, certainly with the injury to Joey Devine, and it is unlikely that we'll see Joey Devine anytime soon, that Casilla suddenly gains more importance for the A's. A big, wild cut by Hunter. He comes up empty. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike on a breaking pitch.
And Andrew Bailey is throwing that changeup as well.
Outfield deep on Hunter. Rajay shading the other way for the Arkansas native. Longtime Twin, his second year with the Angels. He swings and flies one to right. Moving toward the line, Sweeney, plenty of room in front of the track. One hands it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Santiago Casilla. On to the 8th inning with the A's in front, 5-3. Now the assistant GM for the Halos threw the earliest no-hitter in Major League history, then with the Astros against the Braves, 6-0. We move into the 8th, and the A's are looking for their first win of 09. They've got a 5-3 lead. Here's Ken.
A historical vignette. I like that.
Very good.
So here's Buck leading off against the veteran lefty Darren Oliver, who throws and misses low 1-0. A's have 13 hits tonight. The Halos have 6. The A's lead 5-3. They need 6 outs to notch their first win. I like those Pepsi features at the end of the 7th, produced by Robert Vaughn.
They're refreshing.
They are. You get to hear, the voices of the A's like Lon Simmons and Bill King and Monty Moore. A couple of great Lon Simmons calls. Part of the highlights tonight. Buck fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Buck, Ellis, and Sweeney against Darren Oliver. A's got 3 in the 4th and 2 in the 7th. The Angels single runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 5th. Darren Oliver's been around forever. First got to the big leagues with Texas in '94 and throws, and Buck fouls it back. 1-2 last year for the Angels, 7-1 and a 2.88 ERA. 3rd round pick of the Rangers in '88 out of Northern California, Rio Linda High School. His dad was a good ball player, Bob Oliver. Good hitter, right-handed hitter. 1-2, foul back off the screen, and the count holds at 1-2. So the twisting path that has been the career of Darren Oliver, the resume, including Texas and St. Louis and Texas again, and Boston and Colorado and Florida and Houston and the Mets and the Angels, and he's left-handed. Gap in right center. Oliver sets. Here's the 1-2 to Buck. Breaking ball away. Check swing. The appeal to third and no swing. He's appeared in 467 Major League games. "38 years of age. The 2-2 pitch is bounced back at first, taken there by Kendry Morales, and Morales goes to the bag. Buck is out 3 unassisted, and Mark Ellis coming up. Mark has doubled, singled, and bounced out, and has an RBI. So Dustin Mosley, 6 innings for the Angels, 9 hits and 3 runs. Kevin Jepson worked the 7th for the Halos, and he allowed 4 hits and 2 runs. The pitch, and Mark takes a breaking ball for a strike. And for Trevor Cahill, I think maybe taking a deep breath and thinking, it was okay. I got through it. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. Here's the pitch, and Ellis fouls it back out of play in the lower deck. No balls and 2 strikes, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 walks, and a strikeout. One of the walks intentional. Obviously, the command will have to improve. Now, the 0-2 pitch. Ellis waiting on Darren Oliver. Sprayed foul to the right. Into and out, and they scatter in the A's dugout up the first base side.
And the other phase, too, that has begun for Trevor Cahill is video. Because now every team has at least got him on video and what he looks like, and begins the adjustments within the adjustments. Because there will be no secrets for Trevor Cahill.
The one thing that he has that is so big is movement. Now, Ellis takes the fastball outside from Oliver, 1-2. In other words, even if it's a so-called fastball count for the hitter, he can throw his sinker because it has that kind of movement. Now the 1-2 delivery. Oliver fires, and Mark pops it up. Short left field. The shortstop going out. Ibar under it now, waiting for it. And Ibar is there to make the catch. I don't see anybody throwing in the A's bullpen, do you?
I do not.
So apparently they're going to look for Casilla to give them 2 innings, and then Ziegler the ninth.
Typically, this would be a spot also that you would see Russ Springer, but not too many pitches in that bottom of the 7th from Casilla. And maybe thinking in this early juncture they wouldn't throw him in back-to-back games, so maybe try to get that extra inning. Although they did it with Wirtz tonight.
So here's the pitch to Ryan Sweeney on the way, and it's taken for a strike on the inside corner. Well, if you get 2 innings from Casilla tonight, then if you have the lead late in the ball game tomorrow, you could go to Springer in the 8th inning tomorrow. Pickens in on the grass at third. Ryan Sweeney, a line drive fair down the right field line in the corner, rattling around down in the corner. And so Sweeney is around first and pulling up at second with a stand-up double. And Ryan Sweeney has a 3-hit night. And the A's have broken out tonight. That's their 14th hit.
And that's a big one for Ryan against a left-hander, because there are going to be games where he's going to face some left-handed pitching as either the leadoff man and certainly the primary center fielder. And he was not very good last year against the left-hander, so a good confidence-building start for him in that regard.
So now Cabrera, who's 0 for 4.
Only .216 against the lefties last year.
That's a good point. 5-3 in favor of the A's. 2-out runner at second, top of the 8th, and Orlando takes it high. Cabrera's 1 for 8 to begin the campaign. They play him with a gap in right center field. The A's are batting in the top of the 8th inning, and Darren Oliver, the third pitcher for the Angels tonight, working for the Halos. 1-0. Here it is to Cabrera, and a little bit low, and it's 2-0. Jason Giambi is on deck. Jason has 2 hits. Garcia Parra has 2 hits. Jack Cust, a big night with 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Suzuki has a single and a run scored. Buck, a single and an RBI. Mark Ellis, a double and a single and a run batted in. And Cabrera, low, 3-0. First base is open. They is hoping to follow the pattern of last year. Jason Bolger, a right-hander, throwing in the bullpen, as the A's in Tokyo lost an opening night, won the second game of the season against the Red Sox behind Rich Harden 5-1. Cabrera takes high. So now the A's have things set up for Jason, first and second and 2 out. And I imagine these guys have matched up a few times over the years. Jason Giambi and Darren Oliver. Here comes Mike Butcher. Getting his work in tonight, huh?
Well, one thing about Oliver, yes, he's been around a long time. He's a left-hander that is really pretty standard from the idea that he doesn't have the funky motion like a Brian Fuentes does. He doesn't have overpowering stuff. And at times his breaking ball kind of gets too much of the plate, stays up. He's serviceable, but you don't think of him as the guy that Mike Scioscia will consistently use pitching with the lead late in a ball game.
Yeah, with the lead, it's what we saw last night. Arredondo, and then Shields, and then Fuentes. Is that right, Robert Vaughn? 22 for 35? Thank you. And Giambi takes inside. He has lit up Mr. Oliver. He's got the mortgage, the pink slip, and the whole deal. 22 for 35.
No matter what uniform he's worn.
Outfield plays in the pull. 2 on, 2 out. Top of the 8th inning, 5-3 A's. The pitch by Darren Oliver to Jason is a curveball for a strike. You don't go 22 for 35 in batting practice. Sweeney's at second. Cabrera's at first. Not the full shift on the infield, although Kendrick, the second baseman, is playing out into right field. Here's the 1-1 now. And Giambi hits it down the left field line, slicing in the corner. Long run. Rivera's not going to get it. That's a base hit. Around third to score is Sweeney. They're going to hold Cabrera at third on a double down the left field line by Jason Giambi. And the A's add on and take a 6-3 lead. And he continues to own Darren Oliver. His 23rd lifetime hit against Oliver, and that's going to be it for the Angels veteran left-hander. The A's batting in the top of the 8th inning. They've scored a run. They have runners at second and third, and with 2 out, Garcia Parra is coming up against the Angels right-hander Jason Bolger. This pitching change is brought to you by Corona Light, the only light beer that's also a Corona Relax responsibly. And here's Nomar, who's 2 for 4. Giambi, by the way, is 3 for 5. So much for spring training numbers. I mean, really. 6 runs, 15 hits for the A's. 3 runs, 6 hits. Angels. The pitch to Nomar is taken for a strike. What did Giambi hit in this spring? Let's look it up here. He hit,
The first number was a 1.
yeah, he hit 157. He's 3 for 5 tonight. Nomar with a count of 0-1. And Bulger, here's the pitch. And Garcia-Parra waves at a breaking ball, 0-2. Bulger last year for the Angels appeared in 14 games. He pitched in 37 games at Salt Lake, the Halos AAA affiliate. First-round pick of the Angels, actually an Arizona Diamondbacks first-round pick in 2001. And the 0-2 pitch with 2 outs to Garcia-Parra. He throws, and Nomar hits a deep drive into left. Rivera going back, nearing the track, at the base of the track to make the play. But the A's get 1 on the double by Giambi. They leave 2, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. A's 6, and the Angels 3. Six-3, the A's lead, bottom of the 8th inning, and Kendry Morales leads off for the Angels against right-hander Santiago Casilla. Morales has walked, doubled, and singled. Casilla worked a 1-2-3 7th inning after Trevor Cahill went the first 5, and Michael Wirtz worked the 6th inning. The pitch by Casilla, here it is to Morales, a switch hitter batting left, taken outside in that 6th inning with Wirtz pitching. The Angels left to Eric Ibar at third base when Howie Kendrick struck out to end the frame. 15 hits for the A's. The A's have left 10, 6 hits for the Angels. They've left 8. And now Morales takes a changeup outside, and the count 2-0. 7:05 tomorrow for Dana Evelyn against Nick Adenhart. Nick Adenhart made his major league debut against the A's last year, being called up from the minor leagues to pitch against the A's on 3 days rest, and the A's lit him up. Fastball low, 3-0. 7:25 on Thursday night for Brett Anderson and Jared Weaver. Home opener, 7:05 on Friday night. So now Casilla with a 3-run lead, but he's 3-0 on Kendry Morales and delivers, and in for a strike, 3-1. Of course, lots of ceremonies along with the home opener Friday night, including a tribute to the fallen Oakland police officers before the ball game at the Coliseum. The 3-1 pitch is lifted foul out of play. The ceremony honoring the slain Oakland police officers will begin at 6:30 out on the field at the ballpark, and over 50 Oakland police officers will take part in the pregame ceremonies. The national anthem will be performed by local Oakland officers. Here's a 3-2 on the way to Kendry Morales. Swung on, bounced up the middle, back a second, taken by Cabrera. Goes to first for the out. Morales out 6-3. 1 out, and the batter Juan Rivera, who's 0 for 3. During the course of the season, on the A's home uniforms, the A's will wear a patch with OPD on the patch, on the sleeve, on the home uniforms. There'll be a flyover with 2 fighter jets from the Lemoore Naval Air Station. 6-3 ball game. The A's lead. The pitch taken outside by Juan Rivera. The count 1-0. 6-3 A's. 1 out, nobody on in Anaheim. Game 2 of the season, and the A's are on top 6-3. Big gap in the outfield, out in left center for Rivera, who pops it up short right. Ellis from second going out, calling for it. Mark is there drifting with it and makes the catch. Rivera flies out. Also before the game, several of the A's players will be in the home plate area presenting a plaque to OPD Chief Howard Jordan. All part of what will be happening before the ball game on Friday night. So Jeff Mathis has doubled, bounced out, and struck out. A 6-3 game. The A's have the lead. Right-handed hitter, and a spider is taken outside, and it's 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 out, nobody on. Casilla throws and gets a strike in the outside corner, and the count 1-1.
Saw your beach ball down there.
Yeah. The gates will open, by the way, at 5:05 on Friday night. And first pitch at 7:05. Josh Outman goes for the A's. 1-1. Outside back to the screen, 2-1. Santiago Casilla. His teammates call him Willie. Working from the stretch. First base side of the rubber. Hands together. And now delivers the 2-1 pitch. And it's popped up out of play to the right. Did we get an attendance figure?
43,396.
43,396. Sell out?
Yes, and a beach ball down the left field line.
Okay. Well, that's kind of a tradition.
31, Brad Ziegler.
Brad Ziegler's up in the A's pen. Casilla checking. Mathis, a right-handed hitter. Here's the 2-2 to Mathis. Just missed, low and outside. And the count 3-2. Eric Ibar is on deck for the Angels.
Pretty tough pitch to take right there. Hope it doesn't frustrate Casilla to where he overthrows one here.
Working from the stretch, and now here's the 3-2 with 2 out, low and outside, and he walked him on a fastball. Of course, with every hitter that gets on base, then the Angels get closer to Guerrero. By now, the number 9 hitter coming up, Ibar. If he's retired here by Casilla, then the Angels would come up with the top of the order in the 9th inning. And that would mean Figgins, Kendrick, and Abreu. And then Guerrero in the 4th spot. A's 6, Angels 3. Bottom of the 8th inning, 2 out, Mathis at first. Eric Ibar has sacrificed, walked, and doubled. So to first, Mathis isn't going anywhere. With 2 out and the Angels trailing by 3 runs. And here might have been a stalling tactic because Bob Guerin's going to the mound. So the A's manager talking to Casilla. This might be one of those very direct conversations. Like, if you don't get this guy, the other guy who's warming up in the bullpen is coming in the game.
You got a guy up there that can't hit the ball out. Go after him, challenge him. Don't worry about the guy in the base pass. Your catcher's already thrown somebody out. If he dares to run, you've got a 3-run lead. Let's get this thing home.
Chavez in on the grass at third. Casilla checks to get his sign. Ready for the pitch. It's on the way. Ibar is taking inside, 1-0. And Casilla now 24 pitches but 12 balls. Retired the side 1-2-3 in the 7th inning. Ibar, a switch hitter batting left. The pitch to him, a 1-0, is a strike on the outside corner. Ibar spent time on the DL last year with a dislocated right pinky finger. Taps the plate with his bat. He has an open stance. The A's play the outfield toward left. Suzuki sets up away. The pitch to Ibar is a fly ball to center field. Rajay Davis going back. He's under it now. He's there to make the catch in pretty deep center field. Ibar flies out. The inning is over. And after 8, it's still 6-3 Athletics. Eric Chavez leads off for the A's in the 9th. The A's lead 6-3. Jason Bolger is still pitching for the Halos. Drops the breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Bolger came on and got the last out of the 8th inning, retiring Garcia Parra on a fly ball to left field. The pitch to Chavez is a drive up the alley, deep right center field. Racing back is Abreu. He's not going to get it. It's off the wall. Abreu plays the carom, and pulling up at second with a double is Eric Chavez. So Chavez bangs a 2-base hit. He almost got it out off the wall in right center field. That is 16 hits for the A's, who lead 6-3, and Rajay Davis is coming up.
It's another component of the A's offense, the ability to add on like they've done tonight after they got the lead in the 7th, to get that extra and threaten for another one here.
Really impressive night. Here's Rajay Davis for the first time. He pinch ran for Cust in the 7th inning. Jack was 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And the pitch, he's around a bunt and pops it up toward third, foul territory. A diving try by Figgins, and he can't make the play. Figgins sprawling in the grass in foul territory between home and third. Almost made a great catch. So leadoff double by Chavez. Well, you go through the in-game box, and Sweeney has 3 hits. Cabrera hitless but has a walk. Giambi has 3 hits. Garcia Parra has 2 hits. Chavez with a double. Cuss 3 hits. Suzuki has 1. Buck has 1. And Ellis has 2. And on the grass at third is Figgins. And on the grass at first is Kendry Morales. 6-3 A's. Nobody out. Chavez at second. Davis, a right-handed hitter. Set, and he's around a bunt again. Takes it over his head, and the count 1-1. Bob Guerin said today that Chavez would not play in one of the next 2 games. So he's going to start 3 of the 4 games of this series. And he'll be out there, of course, on opening night for the home opener Friday night. 1-1 pitch. Bulger throws, and Davis pops up a bunt right to Mathis, the catcher, an easy play. Popped it right up, right on top of home plate, and Rajay was out almost every morning at 8:30 during spring training for a month at Phoenix Stadium, working on his bunting, but cannot get the bunt down here in the 9th inning. Pop up to the catcher, and that'll bring up Suzuki.
You really like in that sacrifice situation to truly get yourself ready and not kind of move your feet a little bit, not quite have the bat stable and out over the plate. Rajay probably worked more on bunting for hits than he did trying to just lay down the sacrifice.
I think that's a good point. Suzuki's 1 for 4. A's a 3-run lead in the 9th. Bulger, the high set, kicks the front leg, fires a breaking ball, and that's a strike, 0-1. It's been Mosley, Jepson, Oliver, and Bulger for the Angels. Cahill, Wirtz, and Casilla for the A's, with Ziegler for the 9th. He's heating up in the bullpen. Suzuki, a right-handed hitter. Bulger ready out of the stretch, and Suzuki fouls it off to the right out of play. Well, the White Sox won their home opener 4-2 over Kansas City. The Red Sox won their opener 5-3 over Tampa Bay. Toronto is 2-0. They've won 2 straight over the Tigers, 5-4 today. And Minnesota and Seattle have split the first 2 games of their 4-game series. The Twins coming back with 3 in the bottom of the 9th over Seattle 6-5. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and Suzuki pops it up. Might be playable, foul territory. Back of the coach's box, Morales, the first baseman, is there to make the catch. Suzuki pops out, 2 out. Chavez at second, and that'll bring up Buck. The Angels, meanwhile, on the bottom of the 9th, top of the order. It's not going to be an easy save for Ziegler with Figgins, Kendrick, and Abreu. Six runs, 16 hits, an error for the A's. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Angels. Bulger, the pant legs up high. Buck, a left-handed hitter, and Travis takes a fastball outside in the outfield. A huge gap in right center. Torrey Hunter is way over toward left center field. In right field, Abreu is step or 2 toward the right field line. Rivera in left is shallow and shifted toward the line. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter. Chavez leads at second. And with the A's leading 6-3, the 1-0 pitch by Bulger is outside 2-0. The Giants won their opener 10-6 over Milwaukee. Atlanta and Philly have split 2 games now. After the Phils prevailed on Sunday night, Atlanta won tonight 4-0 behind Jair Jurgens. 2-0 pitch. Here it is to Buck, swung on and missed. The Marlins are 2-0, 2 straight over the Nationals. The Nationals could lose 100. And Florida beat the Nationals 8-3. The Cubs and Astros have split 2 games. The Astros prevailed in 10 tonight, 3-2. Now the 2-1 delivery to Buck. Bulger, and it's outside 3-1. Cardinals and Pirates have split 2. as the Cardinals won behind Kyle Loesch 9-3 tonight. Albert Pujols went deep. And the same for Colorado and the Diamondbacks. They've split a pair of games. The Rockies behind Ubaldo Jimenez, and Houston Street got his first National League save. Colorado 3, Arizona nothing. 3-1 pitch to Buck, outside Travis walks. Ellis coming up. And the A's have had a lot of base runners tonight. We'll pause 10 seconds to allow our stations to identify themselves on the Oakland A's radio network. The A's have had 18 base runners, and here's Mark Ellis with 2 on and 2 out, and the Athletics on top of the Angels 6-3. Mark's 2 for 4. And Bolger throws. Ellis takes high and inside 1-0. The Padres and Dodgers have split a pair. Padres 4-2 over LA behind Chris Young over Randy Wolf. Heath Bell got a save. Here's the 0-1 on the way, and Ellis takes a breaking ball for a strike in the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. A's trying to add on in the 9th inning. They were down 2-0, and they took the lead with a 3-run top of the 4th. Angels tied it up with a single run unearned in the bottom of the 5th. A's got 2 in the 7th and 1 in the 8th. 2 on and 2 out in the 9th. The 0-2 delivery. Ellis pops it up foul straight back. The crowd is thinned out. Maybe about a third of the folks remaining from the 43,396 on a school night. It hasn't been the fastest game of all time.
It's moved at a leisurely pace.
Yes, it has. But that's baseball. It's a contemplative game. And the pitch to Ellis swung on and missed, and down he goes. The A's leave 2 more. They've left a dozen tonight, and the Angels coming up in the bottom of the 9th with Figgins, Kendrick, and Abreu against Brad Ziegler. After 8.5, the A's on top of the Angels, 6-3.
Hey, man, where's your...
A replica jersey, that's courtesy of Pepsi. You can get tickets online at OaklandAthletics.com. By the way, I don't want to upset any of the Atlanta Braves fans. They've won 2 straight. Correct that. They're 2-0 over the Phillies. Atlanta winning again tonight after taking the first game of the season on Sunday night. So Atlanta has taken 2 straight from the Phils. Meanwhile, here's Ziegler, who had a lot of magic last year. 6-3 Athletics. Top of the order for the Angels. Bottom of the 9th inning. Figgins, Kendrick, and Abreu in the first pitch, a strike. A modern major league record last year set by Brad Ziegler, beginning his big league career with 39 consecutive scoreless innings. And the submarining right-hander with the 0-1 pitch, and that's taken low, and it's 1-1. Figgins has walked, flied out twice, and bounced out in the 6th when Cabrera made a good play. Kendrick is on deck. Outfield shallow and toward left. The 1-1 by Ziegler is a soft line drive into right for a base hit. This is not going to be easy. Figgins leads off the 9th with a hit, and the Angels need 1 more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate, and Kendrick is coming up. Remember that even though the Athletics have 16 hits and 6 runs, they've left 12 runners on base. And they've left 6 on in the last 3 innings. So Kendrick has flied out, lined out, walked, and struck out a right-handed hitter. Ziegler throws and misses inside 1-0. It was an awkward spring, but a thrilling one for Ziegler in that he didn't get a whole lot of work pitching in the World Baseball Classic. The pitch on the way, swung on a miss, but he said that was by far the biggest thrill of his baseball career, being part of Team USA. Team USA's games during the WBC were in Toronto, Miami, and Los Angeles. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kendrick, a right-handed hitter. Ziegler throws, and he delivers a pitch that's fouled off to the left by Kendrick. 1-2. Leadoff single by Sean Figgins. Kendrick batting, Abreu on deck. And after Abreu, Guerrero. The gap in the outfield, big gap in left center field. Now Ziegler steps off. And Garcia Parra is going to play behind the runner, going to play behind Figgins. Set, ready, and the 1-2 on the way is low and inside. Now it's 2-2. With AAA Sacramento last year, Ziegler 2-0 and 0.37 ERA. With the Athletics in 47 games, 3-0, a 1.06. 29-year-old right-hander. Runner goes, the pitch taken inside, and on defensive indifference, Figgins goes down to second base. And now the count 3-2 to Howie Kendrick. Ziegler, first base side of the rubber. Ready at the belt, the backward glance, and throws the 3-2, and it's swung out a comebacker. Taken by Ziegler, holds the runner, flipped to first in time. A big pitch right there. So Kendrick is out 1-3, and Abreu is coming up, and he's 0 for 4. Ziegler said one of the best things about being part of that WBC team, Team USA, was that there were no egos. And he said he was by far the least experienced. He thought he was the least experienced pitcher on the team, but he said he wasn't treated that way. Even guys like Jeter and Chipper Jones. Runner at second, the pitch off speed, taken outside 1-0. Bobby Abreu has bounced out 3 times and struck out. Runner at second, that's Figgins. The A's on top 6-3. The pitch, ground ball to the hole, base hit to left. Around third is Figgins to score. It's a 6-4 ball game, and the tying run is coming up, and it's Guerrero. You know, it's the A's against the Angels. And it's not going to be easy. Abreu singles the other way. Figgins scores from second. It's a 6-4 ball game. And here's Guerrero. Ziegler allowed 2 home runs during his time with the A's last year, and they were both to left-handed hitters. The pitch to Vladdy is bounced foul on the third baseline. A's 6 runs, 16 hits, and error. The Angels 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. At first is Bobby Abreu. Guerrero has singled, walked, reached on the air in the 5th inning on a ball that was dropped in right field by Cuss, and then bounced out in the 7th. Out of the stretch, first base side of the rubber. The 0-1 pitch, here it is to Guerrero. Huge cut and a miss. 71 miles an hour. Pulled the string on him way out in front. And it's 0-2. The 0-2 pitch to Guerrero. On the way by Ziegler. Swung on him, missed. Got him with a slider down and away. Guerrero strikes out. A big pitch by Brad Ziegler. 2 away, and that'll bring up Torrey Hunter. Two straight pitches at around 71 miles an hour to Vladimir Guerrero. And here's Torrey Hunter. Doubled, popped out, bounced into a fielder's choice, applied to right. A's leading 6-4, 2 out, bottom of the 9th inning. Runner at first, that's Bobby Abreu, and the pitch to Hunter is low, and it's 1-0. They're playing behind him. Nomar playing behind the runner. The outfield very deep. No doubles in the outfield for the A's. Rajai Davis moving toward right center field now. 1-0 pitch to Hunter. Swung on, bounce toward third, foul ball. Taken by the third base coach, Dino Ebel. Brian Sweeney straightaway deep in right. Very deep in center. Rajai Davis out toward right center. Deep in left, straight up Travis Buck guarding the lines at third with Chavez. At first, Garcia Parra not holding the runner, not guarding the line over there. Hunter's a right-handed stick. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Runner goes, bounce foul, third base side. That running, sinking fastball running right in on Torrey Hunter, and now it's 1-2. One ball, two strikes, two out, runner at first, 6-4 A's in the bottom of the ninth. Ziegler at the belt. Ready, turns and throws, swung on and missed. He gets him on strike. And a tough save for Brad Ziegler. The A's hang on, and the A's get their first win of 2009. 6-4 in favor of the Athletics. And back with the totals after this. 3 hours and 17 minutes. The attendance 43,396. So the A's are 1-1. The Angels are 1-1 with 2 games left tomorrow night at 7:05 and Thursday night at 7:25. We invite you to stay tuned after our post-game show and after every A's broadcast for Robert Vaughn coming up with the extra innings, interviews, your phone calls, and more in the first edition of the Kurt Suzuki Show. Robert Vaughn with the A's catcher Kurt Suzuki tonight. That's on many of these same stations on the A's network after our post-game show. Tony Nozzo engineering here at the ballpark, and John Trinidad back in our studios in the Bay Area. Ken Korak for Vince Cotroneo and Ray Fosse inviting you to join us for our next broadcast coming up tomorrow. Dana Evelyn pitches for the A's against the Angels right-hander Nick Adenhart. Marty Lurie kicks off our coverage at 5 o'clock tomorrow. That's locally in the Bay Area. And then Vince Cotroneo has the expanded pregame at 6:15. The A's Network joins our broadcasting at 6:45 with Ray Fosse and the A's warm-up. And 7:05 tomorrow for Game 3 of the series. Again, the final score tonight was the A's 6 and the Angels 4. Stay tuned for the postgame coming up next.